Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go! Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the electrifying Tilt Champion League, where the Rift will tremble with the might of our legendary contenders. Tonight, two fierce teams, the Riot HR department and the Dog Pound, will clash for the coveted third place in a thrilling showdown that you do not want to miss. With an even 2-2 record on the season, the Riot HR department is ready to unleash a whirlwind of bureaucracy, armed with Teemo's toxic darts and Blitzcrank's rocket grabs. Prepare to witness their administrative finesse as they cut through the chaos to lay down the law of the Rift. On the other side of the battlefield, we have the Dog Pound, a ferocious pack of warriors hungry for victory. With the stealth of Twitch, the raw power of Darius, and the strategic brilliance of Azir, they're eager to bring the heat and show their opponents who's alpha on the Rift. So summoners, hold on to your hats and glasses as the battle for third place for the Tilt Champions League is about to begin. May the wards be plentiful and the pentakills legendary. With that, I'm Jbob, this is Spurg, and hopefully that was just an absolutely lovely intro and Spurg didn't look too cringe during it. Spurg, welcome to the cast. What are you excited to see tonight?
Good to be here. Intro was very well written by you, Jbob, and even more beautifully performed. I mean, this is one of the matchups where there's two areas that are, I think, key for either team's victory here, and that is preventing Hippo from having a Hippo scenario, which goes for both teams. His own team needs to stop him from being the 07 Hippo, and the Dog Pound needs to not feed him and allow him to go off on those champions he likes to carry on, like Darius. The other area to look at is the bot lane. I mean, TJ and Rudy have shown that they're more than capable, and Speedy and Lemon have at times looked a little abusable when it comes to team fights. Not so much in their laning phase, but more so in the meta later on. So those are the two areas I'm most paying attention to here.
Yeah, so as far as we've got the ban starting here, I don't think anybody's surprised to see the Talon ban. Lilia ban, Kindred, nothing super surprising. A little surprising maybe they're on the Annie. I think we've seen Talon play that to pretty good effect this season, so they're respecting that. We'll see if a third ban goes towards Talon. Obviously, being the one trick that he pretends to be, he does have a deeper champion pool than that, but we'll see if they throw 3 his way. Interested to see if we see 3 jungle bans, speaking of going the other way too, towards
I would expect to see quite a few Talon mid bans. Unless they're picking first round, I would say maybe 4 going to Talon mid.
Yeah,
each game here.
I think that makes sense. I assume that Echo ban is probably again for jungle. The Darius ban, all right, they are afraid of the Darius Hippo. I maybe myself felt the wrath of that earlier this season, so I can understand that choice.
And it's pretty clear here that Riot HR is a bit afraid of Bunny Remix and what he's capable of doing out of that jungle role.
Which is completely fair. I think he's been, and of course he's subbed across a couple different teams. Shout out Bully, but he's really done very well in most of his series, especially on the ones where he subbed. But some of those champions that he was very successful on are not able to be picked due to those bans. So
yeah, and that first pick coming here, Maokai, I mean, I would expect that to go to Rook. It does seem like a champion that fits his style.
I agree.
Obviously, you could see a top or support as well, but I don't think that's going to be the case here.
Probably Hippo not playing the Maokai would be my guess. They're gonna put him on something strong. We'll see. Maybe a Fiora.
First pick Twitch out here for
Remember?
the dog.
Remember in my speech when I gave the Twitch reference? There it is.
And unsurprisingly, the Jarvan coming in as well. Despite the nerfs, still the small nerfs, I should say, still a very strong jungler. Does really well in like a tournament setting like this, where communication.
Yeah. Do you think it's a bait and the Twitch is jungle?
I
Jarvan top or something?
I do not think that's the case. But I've seen crazier flexes come out in some of these TCL games. So
I think it's a weird pick to pick first, unless you're up to something. Pretty counterable, right? So strange first pick, I think, because I don't think they were going to throw a ban or pick to steal it, so why not save it till later?
It feels like the things that could counter Twitch, though, as far as like bot lane wise, would be, you know, a Lemon pick of like a Braum or something like that.
Yep.
But Lemon doesn't play that champion. Or they may be trying to bait him into playing that champion, thinking that they can then abuse him.
True.
Because he is very well known for his enchanter play, but not as known for his tanky engaged support style play.
So I think we've answered the question. It's almost definitely going to be Gwen top. We've seen Hippo play that. It's another strong pick. Jace very likely going mid. So not anything that's tricky coming from the Riot HR side so far. At least it doesn't seem that way. Gotta probably, as much as fun as I'd want it to be Twitch jungle, it's probably not. So that's Jarvan jungle with Diana mid. I'm not sure on the Diana against Jace matchup.
That's what I was going to ask about. I do know that I'll Take Mid is quite proficient on that champion, but I don't know how that matchup is going to play out. Feels as if it might get abused early, but then the all-in of Diana at level 6 might get the better of Talon mid here on that Jace pick.
Feels like if you can save, you wait for the Jace to knock you back and then dive right back in, that's probably how you counter it. Yeah, speaking of countering, we got a couple more bans coming through. The Ezreal, obviously a speedy favorite. We've seen him play it season in, season out. And the Morg pick. We've heard tell of the Lemon absolute carry games on Morg, so they just don't want to see that. Did we miss a ban there?
Yeah, am I seeing that right? Did Riot HR miss a ban here?
Is that just disrespect? I don't really know what's going on there.
Some indecision maybe.
Yeah.
They didn't have a good pre-draft analysis.
Yeah.
Kind of in between two things potentially.
The Scion pick into Gwen. Might I suggest that should not have been your pick, because that is a very bad matchup for Scion.
That's gonna be very tough. You're never really gonna hit her with a Q, and she's just gonna chunk you down with all that percent health.
Again, I played that very matchup earlier this season and got absolutely walloped.
Well, that's all of your matchups, Jbob. So let's not take that into account too much.
That's fair, but I think we can all agree it's a horrible matchup either way. So that is a strange choice. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Maybe it was an accidental choice. I didn't. Yeah. Or I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see what's going on here. Oh, we got a client crash. Okay,
Client
so
crash.
the picks were legit, but we are gonna have to run it back real quick in draft. So
That's just standard Rudy trying to ruin it for everybody.
sure. Yeah, I mean, he's got Rude right in his name, so ruins it, right? So
Yes.
it makes sense. Anything that you saw there in those last couple of picks that jumped out at you? I actually missed, I think, what the final pick was on Riot HR side. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either. I'm still very surprised, given the lineup that the Dog Pound was going with there, that they would even ban that Morg. I don't really see where she's going to have a lot of use against the team that they were kind of looking to be picking up there. Especially that Black Shield is, for the most part, going to be useless.
What's it going to stop?
Team.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, like Lemon can hit all those god Qs that he's very well known for, but the rest of that champion's kit wouldn't be too useful at that after that.
Just didn't want to give him the comfort pick, I guess. I do agree. Maybe they thought something late in the draft was going to come that it might be a better counter for. Not sure. I'm going to go. It's got to be a comfort pick, which is always probably a solid TCL strategy. Don't try to get too cute with it sometimes, right? Play what you're comfortable with. Play what you're good at. A wise man once told me, just play, only a couple champs in TCL. You don't need to play 20. So maybe that's what he was going for.
You see what the bot lane was for Riot HR before we got that disconnect?
I don't think we did. Maybe that's that must have been the pick that I missed.
I mean, I think I missed both the AD and the support.
Yeah.
Not sure who locked in what there. So apologies for the delay again. Just waiting on the Rudy to get signed back in and the game to start up once more.
Yeah, we may have to redo the lobby. We may throw it to a break. We'll give it a minute here to see if you can sort it out. But yeah, I agree with your point about the ban of Morg. It's almost one of those picks you almost want to give Lemon and play around it, which it felt almost like, to your point, they were doing. They're not going to pick anything that's going to get massively shut down by that Black Shield. Not anything super afraid of the Morg diving in, ulting, locking you down. Still pretty mobile champs. So very strange pick there in the ban for me. But, we of course had the just complete disrespect, lack of a ban from the Dog Pound. So, or from, Riot HR. Sorry, not sure what happened there.
Which, given the players on Riot HR, very much doubt it was a BM maneuver.
No,
I would more expect that to have been just an issue of some miscommunication there on what to ban, and I think they just ran out of time.
Yeah, hopefully that miscommunication doesn't continue in game. Of course, that would not be favorable. If you can't even type a couple characters and click a picture, you're maybe in trouble. So.
And I might go as far to say that this might be a legacy game for Rook here. We've seen Rook as like one of the better junglers in this league for 4+ seasons now. But this season so far, he just hasn't been showing us that same side of him. So if we see another down game from Rook, people out there in the chat, they're gonna start asking like, has Rook lost it? Which I don't think to be the case.
Hot take.
We're going to find out.
I'm with you. I think also Bunny has been, as to the earlier points, one of the stronger junglers this season. So on top of all those points, I think Bunny is a person that you can make a statement against. He feels a little tiltable as well. He's shown up and been a force this season. So I agree. He somehow played us 74.5 times. I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, he's a powerhouse, and that's an interesting point. I think if Rook can show up like you said, there'll be absolutely no doubting his abilities in the long term. He's not washed, nothing like that. So I agree.
And I mean, it's certainly not us saying that, of course not. But there may be chatter out there, and I just want to reiterate that we don't think that.
No, we
do
not.
There are some out there that might.
People are saying.
Yeah,
right?
It's word on the streets.
Yeah, certain politician lives there. People are saying. I think Rudy's coming back shortly, is what we're hearing. We're getting word from the street. Speaking of that he'll be back. Still not 100% sure. Sorry for the delay again. It's Rudy's fault, so blame him. Spam him in DMs, things like that. Not us.
More often than not, it is the fault of the Riot client.
No doubt. Absolute garbage client. Yes.
quite archaic in construction.
Yes. So just waiting for him to get a hold of the code again and join back up. I'm gonna make the executive decision. Say we throw it to break. Just oh my god, of course that says I say that he joins. So just kidding on that. I just had to get it going, put up that juju out in the world that we were gonna do that. But he's in, and we should be going to draft here very shortly.
I
again,
sure hope so.
Yeah, hopefully they're a little more coordinated in game than in draft. All right, there we have it. Gonna run it back on the picks and bans, and then we'll catch up on a couple of those picks that we distracted ourselves from. Let's let me put it to you this way.
I don't think it's our fault that we were distracted. Little did we know we were going to have 4 seconds to look at them and get a good eye for what was happening before we lost the lobby.
Is there any picks? So a pick or two hasn't been locked in that we haven't seen. What haven't we seen that you would like to see come out in this draft? How are you going to round out the draft?
So I'm not going to answer for Riot HR because they have their picks. I'm just not sure what they were. For the Dog Pound, I mean, who did they have? They had the Twitch, the J4, the Diana, and the Scion.
Yep.
I would really love to see an Enchanter out of Rudy here. Keep that Twitch alive, buff the heck out of him, make sure that he can pump and bring down some of these thick boys.
Still extremely concerned about that top lane matchup. With it being Hippo, especially, that is very dangerous. He gets a kill or two early. We don't, even though he's playing Scion, we don't want him to play the boss style and go 0-7 early on.
So they have banned the Lulu though, which kind of puts a spanner in the works for that Enchanter pick.
So there's the picks we missed.
Rudy.
There's the Xayah Renata combo.
The Renata would have been really nice on Twitch as well. I mean, what do you think about Emilio here?
Ooh.
Rudy's going. Oh, okay. Maybe he is. I thought he was going to go with his old faithful Braum. He is.
Yeah,
okay.
he is. That's a good pick, I think. I think that obviously plays very well with Twitch. I think we talked about that early on.
Yeah, especially in lane. It's a very dangerous lane because the Twitch is invisible. You never really know where he is. Braum just hits you with an auto or a Q or something, then
sure.
You're stunned.
Braum can jump to the invisible Twitch, hit you with the Q, and then bada bing, bada boom, you're gone. Yeah.
I do like the Renata pick against that Diana because so I'll take mid is probably going to go full damage on that Diana. Hopefully that Renata is going to be able to keep at least one of those people alive that he goes in on, and maybe get a return kill and stay alive there.
Yeah, it's tricky because you could get that return kill, stay alive, but you might be still trapped in a Jarvan ult or something, right? So you might still be in bad times. So
yeah, also, I mean, that Renata ult is actually going to be very good against this Death Ball type comp that the Dog Pound is looking to run here.
Yeah, feels like they need to bait that out on a sort of a feign engage, and then find an opening while it's on cooldown to dive in.
Yeah, I would love to see like a Jarvan EQ in and then just kind of walk out and maybe try to bait out that Renata ult.
If you're out there listening to the stream, don't just be a listener, be a contributor. Hop into LOL1 in the Tilt Boys Discord. We'll pull you up. We'll get your thoughts on the draft. Certainly some maybe unexpected picks, at least as far as I'm concerned. Interested to hear what some of the community might have to say. So again, if you do want to chime in, have your thoughts heard, you've got a couple minutes here while we wait for the game to kick off where we might be able to hear just a word or two from somebody out there.
Did we get a predict up for this?
I'm wondering where the Gamba is. So all right, production, word just came in. Production is working on it. Stand by. Gamba's coming in hot. Again, LOL1, if you want some commentary, some thoughts, some good vibes you want to put out there to the community, we'll take it all. Other than that, any thoughts, Spurg, while we have about 2 minutes before the game kicks off here, about sort of things you're watching really closely? We've talked a little bit about it, but do you have speaking of Gamba, do you have a personal pick here?
If my channel points here were on the line, just looking at this draft, I'd be more inclined to put those points on Riot HR. I know both of these teams have had a little bit of a rocky season with ups and downs here. But yeah, I think Riot HR takes it, and almost am specifically saying that because of that top matchup.
I'm right there with you. And by the way, the Gambit is live. We're doing it live. And yeah, get your points out there. Mostly so I can just take them all from you, right? When you guys all get it wrong. Usually, I think I am the lead of the channel points. It's probably not true.
10% goes back to the casters, so we'll get our cut.
We take the rake off the top. All right. Yeah, with just a minute left, super excited to see. I agree. The top lane matchup.
It seems unwinnable, but
it is unwinnable unless some crazy ganks come through. This is one of those. You're a jungler, Spurg, so interested for your insight. Imagine you have this absolute worst case scenario matchup top lane. Do you go gank and help?
Absolutely not. You go to break a freeze, and that's really all you're doing. Unless Hippo gets himself into a precarious position, maybe didn't get a back timing that was any good, and then at which point, Tiny Rick is gonna have to let him know that, hey, he's in a bad spot. There's actually a chance we kill this man. I don't see a lot of opportunity for that, but if I'm Bunny, I'm probably just never going up there. I'm gonna focus on getting take mid big, and potentially trying to use that twitch down low to hopefully snipe off a kill and take an early dragon.
And Hippo does love to play super far up in that lane. He loves to zone it off. So there is a chance. There is a chance he can push up so far that Jarvan can come up, do a little flag drag, Scion Q, knock up, slow, whatever you can bring, and finish off the Gwen.
But we can't forget that Gwen is immune. So
True.
Likely she's not being ganked.
Just too tanky.
She did go flashless.
That shows the level of confidence from Hippo.
It sure does.
All right.
Well, here we are on the Rift. Let's see if there's going to be any fireworks here early on.
Do you expect anything fancy after a breach? It looks like 5 points across the board. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything tricky coming out. Not too surprised, right? You got third place on the line. You want to make sure you're playing against the better choice come playoff time. So they want to play a little safe. Maybe they're just afraid. Maybe we'll see something more interesting in the following game.
I mean, I am honestly surprised that Dog Pound wasn't going for an invade here with that level 1 Braum. That level 1 Braum gives you the strongest invade in the game.
Even Scion's Q, if you can, it's not bad. You can do a big knock up in a bush or something. Maybe, familiar with big Scion knockups from my side. But yeah, I agree. The Braum level 1 is kind of unmatched. Braum running Ignite as well. We got double Ignite, actually. Diana also taking Ignite into the Jace. Really wants to start rolling, get ahead.
Interesting Maokai so late over to red buff, though. Not able to stack saplings for either vision into what their jungler's doing, or even saplings stacked into red buff. Oh, it looks like
just starts Q. Yeah, which...
Okay. It's not necessarily bad, but I do like to stack the saplings, but maybe he just did that in this case.
Yeah, he's got a big leash, right? It's not a huge concern. Maybe it helps his next clear of the camp be a little better, but I agree, it's sort of an interesting decision.
So here, both junglers starting on the same side, interesting. So they're both, unless either detours mid, they're gonna end up top lane in a little bit of.
I think they get it, right? They understand the win condition is that top lane, so we'll see if Bunny goes against what you said, Spurg. The Spurg advice, the 2-time MVP advice is don't go unless you need to break the freeze. Otherwise, just let him be. So interested to see. Obviously, Microscopic Rick, a veteran of the league. I'm sure he's played into many losing matchups. He knows how to limit that, but he is pushing that top lane, which is going to potentially put him in a pretty gankable spot if Rook does want to show that top lane a little love.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get an early gank from Bunny here, but he is seen this before.
Yeah, I'm assuming this isn't... Oh, we see a ghost come out. We see a flash or two. Lemon may be in trouble here. Lemon almost definitely going to have to flash. Doesn't. Holds it. Lots of confidence in his abilities. Speedy, probably going to poke a little bit, but not much going to come of this except a couple sums down. The Twitch does use the ghost. Xayah using both sums. I think that's probably in the favor of TJ and Rudy. But it's close.
Yeah, I mean they still have both of their flashes. The ghost is used, which is not as important in the early game. It's much more of a late game usage on Twitch. But Speedy getting both his heal and flash burned, and we might see a regank here prior to level 6, hopefully, and prior to that flash coming back up. That's what I would expect as somebody who's out for blood this game.
I'm not sure we're gonna see those junglers gank top or like we had maybe thought. They're both a little low. Well, actually, Rook's doing pretty all right. Bunny, quite low. Don't think he's looking for a fight. Probably just gonna take one more camp here. Probably the red buff and maybe back after that.
And Lemon, known as a great warder, and obviously it kind of sabotaged that gank by Bunny there by having that ward literally placed seconds before he arrived.
Yeah, absolute perfection. Rook looking to play a little aggressive, trying to find Bunny. Understands that Bunny, if he is still clearing, probably not all too healthy. Yeah, Rook's probably not going to hang around mid too long. That doesn't seem like a kill opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take mid's doing the right thing here. I mean, there's no way he ever kills Jace or wins an all-in style duel if he's not level 6. So he's playing the wave correctly there.
Yep, especially when you're ignite against TP. If you're not going to get that kill, maybe even use that ignite to not get that kill. Then Talon just TPs back to lane and pushes tempo on you. So it does make sense to play it very safe. Speaking of very safe, top lane, Rick doing well. Not too far behind. Obviously still early. Right, Hippo still hasn't had a chance to go back and spend too much of that money. Oh, we do see an exchange here mid, and not too surprising. I'll take mid, just taking a shot or two to the face, backs up and says, "All right, never mind." But yeah,
I don't think he's too concerned. I mean, he's got that TP up, and he can take those trades. He can take another 2 more of those trades, and not be too concerned. I just hear a flash.
No.
I did not.
No. Hippo did use his TP though, so my point about not spending a lot of money, he did spend some. Looks like Rick's gonna go back and probably TP back to lane. Hippo probably gonna try to crash the wave, but again, respect to Rick. He's holding his own. He's up a little bit of CS. I think that'll probably level out after that big wave gets cleared, but he's holding his own. He's not getting all in. Rook hasn't paid any attention to top yet, which is probably part of that, but we may see him head in that direction here in the coming minute.
Odd pathing here by Rook. If I were him, I definitely go by Raptors there through that bush to not reveal your path. I mean, it's one of the biggest things a jungler has is the
element of surprise.
The element of surprise, exactly, and that you don't know where the jungler is until they show themselves. So you kind of force lanes to not be aggressive in that case. I mean, I do know he was seen on a ward, but I'm not sure that he knows that. So in any case, it's a walk through.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, nice exchange there. Coming out pretty even. Microscopic Rick, he does hit a big Q there and knock up with the grass proc. Hippo with a good trade after that to even it out. So Microscopic Rick still hasn't used that TP. So I guess the advantage there. Oh, we look like an all-in. Hippogriff probably doesn't have enough damage here, I don't think. Rick, I think, can clear this wave and then TP safely back to it, and Hippo has to run back. So
Rick having a very good lane out there top, despite that matchup.
We see a potential dive here. Nope, probably going to back off. TJ just going to poke a little bit and run away. If TJ was just a step ahead there, probably could have chained into the Brown stun and could have been something, but maybe just a little behind, not on the same page.
Yeah, certainly not worth his flash, because then you just get Lemon Splash, and then you get 80 without a flash, and that's not great.
So speaking of flash, they really didn't use that advantage they had was Speedy blowing both sums. He's got them back. You would have liked to have seen something a little early. Again, that Braum's so strong early. Combo that with the Jarvan gank. And speaking of Jarvan gank, here he comes into the lane, trying to sneak in. Good toggle on the vision. They don't know he's there. I think they just saw him.
Oh yeah.
Oof, that's a big oof.
And if Bunny backs here, there's a potential that drag is going down to Riot HR. They're going to be a man down here. I don't know how Talon is doing mid right now, if he's got priority, but they could make a move on this dragon, or at least vision of it.
I think they'll get vision, and that might be about it. Their bot lane's a little pushed in, but Rook actually may gank the bot lane instead. Okay, yeah, they're gonna back out of that. That's a hard lane to gank.
I want blood. Rook, get in there and flash W that switch.
Yeah, that's a tough lane because he doesn't know where the Twitch is when he's invised up. The Braum could jump back to the Twitch to escape if needed because he doesn't know where he is. Hard to really want to commit that much. Bunny does, I think, get some vision down around Dragon. Okay, yeah, he's securing a little bit.
Bunny's still not 6, but he will get it off. He should be getting it off that Gromp after the CS numbers.
Rick's still doing pretty well in top lane. Farming decently well. Has only missed a couple CS. Certainly more effective at it than me, that's for darn sure.
I wonder if we're going to see the standard Rift trade for Dragon coming up here in a few minutes. It seems to be the TCL special this season, where one team takes Herald, the other team just takes Dragon, and they just both go on their merry ways.
Yeah, and then we've seen that also with Dragon and Baron as well in certain series last week. A big all-in. Lemonson's big trouble first blood over to Bunny. I think that's all they're going to get, but just a big misposition there. Huge capitalization. No flashes or anything fancy needed from the side over on I'll take mid side. I think it was Bunny. Yeah, Bunny got the kill, and they don't really need to use a lot, and they're going to take Dragon.
That was perfectly executed by the Dog Pound there. I mean, they had all the vision. Lemon had almost nothing up. They kind of all just collapsed as they saw Lemon approach with that push there, and then it's easy Dragon pick for sure. I would have really liked to see Lemon just flash over that wall as soon as that Jarvan flag was dropped, but you know, we're all getting a little old, and our reaction time isn't quite the same as it used to be.
Certainly some of us are. We do see the TP top. Rick wanting to not lose too much CS to that wave crashing. I think pretty smart. He does back, spends the money, and then gets the TP, so doesn't lose too much there. Hippo, I think, will have his TP back here shortly. Does have Ignite. Hippo may be looking for a sort of all-in moment. Rick hovering around about half HP, but he's actually going to... Hippo's going to back, and then...
I mean, Rick's kind of frozen there. I mean, he's doing really, really well in this lane. Like, only down 14 CS. He was able to be there for that kill on Lemon, like, all the way to down there. I think he had used his TP to get that hit when they took that Dragon, too.
Yeah, so we do see Hippo TPing back to top lane again. Wants to keep that tempo. Yeah, I think Rick has ruined the freeze, which is probably okay. Maybe he wanted to force that TP.
Hippo can kill Rick right here.
I agree. He does have his Ignite. Rick, you need to be careful, my friend. He's just building up the Conqueror stacks, building it up. I think Hippo's looking to go in very shortly. And Rook even is kind of sliding up top as well, just to secure it. Rick does have his... Oh, no, he doesn't have his ult. Does have his flash.
Wave is not in Rick's favor here, so...
Rick
should go down here. He's gonna flash, he's gonna get W. He can ult out, as long as Rook...
Goodbye. Right? He's got to be dead here, right? Oh my goodness, Rick. What a Chad. What an absolute Chad. Just sits there, lines up the Q.
It felt misplayed. I think there was more damage to be had there. I just don't think they played that flash here.
Oh my goodness. Rift Herald gets summoned in the mid, or gets summoned in the top lane, and Bunny's gonna go down. All right, does go down 1 for 1. Not the absolute worst when it's a 4v1 dive and you got Herald slapping top. So that, I think, can't see the HP bar on the tower, but that's probably gonna be top tower. That's lots of money for Hippo.
Yeah, very early first turret with somebody who's gonna scale very well with that goal.
Yeah, normally you'd like to see Rook leave there a second early or two just to... Well, actually, I think it was his Herald, so he'd split the money anyway. Yeah, I agree with the misplay in the top lane gank. Rick, I think, accidentally flashed the Maokai Q, because I don't even think you could see him. But does so excellently. I think that probably allowed him to get away, gave him a couple extra steps in the right direction. A little less damage on him. Decently played from Sion. Yes, you lose that top tower, but it's better than losing the top tower and dying.
Yeah, I think without with the Dog Pound making that play on mid, I don't think that there's a better scenario to happen there. It's either you give it all or just give the one turret.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, yeah, it was a good reaction with the 4-man gank mid.
Really good vision here on red side, by the way. Like that bot jungle's warded up very nicely. They're gonna see everywhere that Rook is going on that Maokai.
So when you invest vision deep like that, right, you're looking to get something out of it. Are you looking to make sure your top lane can play safe because you know when he's there? What's the reason they're so willing to commit that many wards that deep this early?
I mean, what was that from production?
Well, look at that. We got Hippo mid. Good call. We were probably going to realize that in about 3 seconds.
I would
Why?
like to say we would have, but who knows? Yeah, they have lane swapped, and I'm not exactly sure why either. I'm sure that the Jace is also a winning matchup against Rick
Sure.
on that Scion. But is the Gwen better into that Diana? Certainly, like, more resistant to ganks, you know, considering she is immune.
Maybe that's just a Talon mid flashes down, and that's why. It's gotta be, because that Gwen just punishes the Scion, and I mean the Jace, agreed, is still a winning matchup, but I don't think that makes Gwen as winning of a matchup as having Jace mid. So sort of curious on what their logic is there. I'm sure they've got a reason. Could be that Talon flash down.
Yeah, and moving back to, you know, the point we were making about the vision in that blue side lower jungle area. I mean, usually early game, that's where you're gonna put deep wards as red side there, because that's where the dragon is. That's the most important objective other than the turrets that you've got in the early game. As well, like, they were using Rick as a weak side here, obviously. I mean, they picked that matchup. So I don't think they were concerned with him having to play aggressive. I don't think there's a world where he would have wanted to.
Sure. I thinking about it more, I think maybe the Jace is just a little better in the longer lane. Can push the top a little safer, and a Hippogriff got pressure top, so why not throw him mid to see if he can push another tower. We do see Bunny finish off the Drake.
Very smart choice there to just let red side beat that one.
Rick's looking for a fight. I'm not sure that's a fight he's going to want until his friends show up, but he's buying time for his team. Rudy with the flash ult. Huge flash ult. Jarvan's probably going to go in. Renata ult. Big disengage.
Very big Renata ult. Will it be enough?
Lemon's still in trouble. Lemon almost certainly going to drop here. Bunny finishes him off. And we get a 1-for-0, but that did take a lot to finish off that one kill.
Yeah, a lot of resources used there. Only one flash, though. I mean, the ults, they'll be back up in time for the next big fight that they plan on engaging in, but it's really nicely done to not have to use flashes there, especially when you're only able to pick up Lemon.
Yeah, I mean, sure, great ult by Rick. Good recognition to understand that his team could get there in time, even though they were pretty far away. Lemon uses more sums, still dies. The trend continues, I guess, from earlier.
Yeah, and I mean, red side keeps kind of ARAMing this, sending multiple people mid there to really just push the wave into the turret. With as much time as they're spending mid there, especially, you know, only against 1 or 2 blue side champs, I would like to see them take that turret rather than just push a wave and back off.
Agreed, especially when they are doing the NA ram here in mid. They're losing their towers elsewhere, so they got to make it up somehow.
Yeah, I mean, they do have both dragons.
Sure.
But it's gonna be a while before those percentages start scaling up. So they're probably gonna feel a little weak in the next 1 or 2 team fights, depending on how long it
Rick
takes
might
us to
be
get
in trouble here. There's a couple people that can slow you down here, sir, and you do not have ult. Does have his flash. Is he just gonna walk away? He's got some friends coming. He's got friends. Uh-oh. Twitch going huge here. Rook maybe sneaks out, finishes off Hippo. I think Rook lives. The TP top just to try to save the tower. That's a risky TP, actually. I think you're dead. Yeah, not sure what that thought was there, Mr. Talon mid. Scion just wants it. He's going for it. Look at him go!
Huge ult from Tiny Rick.
Wow, they're going to get another one. Lemon's almost certainly going to go down here. We do get Renata ult for a little disengaged. Bunny takes no damage from the tower. Bunny is going to have to flash to get out. I think, yep, gets out safely. Wowza, wowza, wowza.
And you know, I had just got done saying that they're going to feel weak in that next team fight. But the odds were in their favor. In every part of that team fight, it was a 2v4. They had that Scion, or at least they thought they had the Scion there, and all the CC he busted out with that big Q damage and the knockup and the E-slow, it gave the whole team time to get there. Just turn it around on him and pick up a bunch of kills on the back end of it as well.
And they're going to take another map objective there. I just not sure what in the universe was going on there with that TP into that wave. Just TP to the tower, a little safer. Just maybe misclicked on the minimap. I'm not sure. That was rough. Thought maybe there was some more help from his team there. That wasn't. Rick really wants to
I
finish this tower,
think
but he's in
Talon
trouble.
Mid I think he saw red, and he's like, this is a fight. I haven't gotten a fight yet, and he really wanted to be a part of it, and didn't think that his team would get turned on the way it did.
Yeah, he must have been tuning into the cast illegally and heard you asking for blood earlier, and just wanted to give you some, but it was some of his own accidentally. Call the cops, not for me, but for you. You know, like, whoo, bad time.
Yeah, and I can't believe TJ flashed forward like that on that Twitch.
Yeah.
Especially as Twitch, like you don't have any cancer. I mean, you really need to try and
TJ may be in trouble.
No flash here. He does have that ghost still ticking, so he's a quick boy.
Just absolutely asserting his dominance. He's even on CS, but boy is he up on kills and assists. So he's just flexing a little bit on Speedy, saying, "Come at me. I'll show you who the better AD is here."
Yeah, 2 people with shutdowns available on their heads right now on the side of the dog pound.
Not anything big.
I wonder if we're gonna see some. No, we're probably not nearly far enough away gold differential here to see any bounties.
We got Dragon coming up in 30 seconds. Both teams looking to establish a little bit of vision around it. You got to assume that red side's gonna just have the position here. They're clearing some wards already. It's gonna be tough for Riot HR department to get any sight of this Dragon. I think you just have to give this. Oh, we see the Herald. Oh, a great response. They're gonna have a huge push. They're gonna take the tower without the Herald.
They're gonna get 2 turrets here. They can even give up that Dragon if they wanted to. They've got 2 in their pocket already.
Rick just absolutely charging in. Granada all for a huge disengage. Rook going in deep. Big damage. Rudy's in trouble. Hippogriff gets Rudy. This actually could go the other way. Rick, you're knocking up a lot of people. You're not killing a lot of people. Good flash to get out from Rick. I think he's okay, but they are probably going to pick up the Drake on the back of that. What a massive fight.
Lemon goes huge there with that Renata ult. Timed it perfectly, so did Sion after his ult hit, so he was no longer unstoppable. I think he managed to hit all 5 members, and if not 5, then 4.
Yeah, I mean, you called it in draft. It's a huge counter to this dive comp that they need, and interested to see how even more impactful that will be as the game continues.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a juiced up Twitch coming out of invisibility and with 4 items just massacring his own team with that 100% attack speed increase.
It's a 200 IQ counter to the invis. Like, you just assume he's probably somewhere in that area. Your AoE is huge on your ult. Just throw it. You'll get him. And he'll start smacking his own team. He does have a tanky team, so he probably isn't going to completely kill teammates, but it's going to weaken them.
He's going to do a lot of damage, though. He's got that board.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to go Kraken here as well. Okay. Yeah, he's going to be the biggest detriment to his own team if he ever gets hit by that Renata ult.
Interested to see if they can replicate that result. Was that a fluke team fight or not? Hippogriff looking to come out of that fight. I think he picked up one of those shutdowns maybe. He's looking to probably convert it into more. Rick is quite a thick boy. Hippogriff, I think, can kill him here. No. It doesn't step far enough to not get knocked up. That's
honestly, I'm surprised that Hippo isn't able to do more damage to Rick here. I understand that Rick is a little bit ahead of him. He's got that Jack show and some armor, but the armor isn't going to help too much against this Gwen.
Agreed. I think Hippo can do more damage than he realizes. I don't know. Rick is pretty thick, but I think no reason to not push there. I guess you don't have vision. On the top side, there could have been a whole bunch of Rick's friendlies there, hanging out in the bush, hiding in the darkness. So he's just afraid. I think based on where he's sitting in that lane right now, probably shows he's afraid of some help there. They just don't have vision. Blue side does not have deep vision. So the counterpoint to what you were saying earlier, that they don't know where people are.
Lemon's got to work with Rook right now to establish vision somewhere. So they can make Hippo go top and match the Sion in the top lane and potentially just like push that through. If they get some vision up there, and then try to do like a 1-4 type situation, because Rook should not beat Hippo, or Rick should not beat Hippo in lane. But as we're seeing, Hippo's not having a very easy time bringing him down.
Some posturing around Baron. I think this is mostly just a vision play. I guess I will say that Riot HR would kill Baron pretty fast. They do have a lot of damage coming out. So if they can pull an A-Barn special and sneak a Baron when nobody's looking, they can take it pretty quick. We see a big engage. Oh, Bunny slides in. Rook is trapped. Huge Scion knockup. Lemon goes down. We see Jarvan's go down as well. TJ in huge trouble. Glenn wants to finish him. Huge flag. TJ almost gets away. Big knockup from Rick still. Speedy, I think, still drops. Diana just showing up. Talon is in trouble. Rook, can you help your buddy at all? Or are you just going to leave? Oh, he flashed W's in. Huge knockaway to try to help his teammate. I'll take mid. Flashes away. I think he could have just stayed. He's going to come back in and join the fun. 3 for 5. I guess you take it if you're on the side of the dog pound.
Altic Mid came in there and saved that fight at the end of it there. TJ gets both of his sums blown, still ends up dying there. I think he got ticked down by an Ignite at the end. But Altic Mid coming in there mega at the end and cleaning that fight up.
Yeah, they're really going mega, weren't they? They're not going to be able to finish the inhib. A little too much respect on the respawn timers there. Most of the side, Riot HR coming back up, so they're going to back off, spend that gold they just earned, and probably could head back down towards Drake, get some vision, and look for there as their next fight.
And Rick is looking unkillable right now.
Yep.
He was in the middle of that team fight the entire time, and still wasn't able to be taken down. And he's only going to get tankier, and that Sunfire is going to start stacking up damage. He might end up with most damage in the game if they keep having big old team fights like this.
You love to see it. That's a Spurg ARAM special if I've ever seen it. A Scion topping a team's damage. As I thought, they are looking to posture around the Drake, clear some wards right now. Notice how they're working as a team. They can't really handle it because TJ's invis. They don't even know where the guy is. He could be anywhere. They are just getting some vision around Drake and then going to try to, I think, push down mid just to make it a little easier.
That's what I'd like to see them do here. Is just send all 5 mid, bring Rick into the mid as well, and just
Maokai, we see a big engage. Glenn looking to go in. This is smart. They don't want him to take the Drake. Rudy in trouble, does have to flash out. Rook gets trapped in the Jarvan ult. Yeah, huge. I'll take mid, does have to use the Zanyas. Renata ult, I think I take mid is probably going to drop here. Scion shows up, a little late to the party, but you're unkillable, so who cares? Just lines up, not a lot of damage. Yeah, okay, I take back the unkillable comment. There he goes. Can he pick anybody up in the passive? Probably not. That's going to be Riot HR taking mid, and then probably taking Drake.
A really smart engage.
Going Baron.
Just a very, very smart engage. They knew the team was a bit disjointed. You really only had 2 or 3 in that mid, and you got that Maokai ult, able to just chase him down.
I think that they can probably take Baron and then just walk down to Drake and rush it. I imagine, again, they kill Baron real quick there, as we talked about. They're going to back. They're going to spend that money that they just slapped some people with. Talon maybe going to push top lane instead of back, so they're going to give Drake maybe? Interesting to see that. Would have liked to see them fight for it, but they're going to be happy with the team fight win. The mid tower, the Baron, I guess they can only be so greedy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that they made the right choice there by leaving Ruby Risk got TP up and the rest of the team's alive. It would have been a risky play that I wouldn't have wanted to make after taking Baron. You really want to make use of that Baron buff on those minions. Hopefully take another turret or 2. Really extend that gold lead that they just secured themselves in that team fight.
Yeah, I mean, they've been pretty close. As much as it felt like the dog pound was ahead, the gold was super close this whole time, and now they're behind on all fronts except Drake counts. That may be one. And
it's an air soul, which isn't incredibly useful. But being that they are, that death ball style comp,
sure,
is more useful on them than other types of team comps.
I think Hippo has a little more confidence now and a little more items, so he's probably, I think he could probably 1v1 just about anybody. Speaking of, he wants to go in and say, I'll take mid. What's going on? I'm here. My empowered cannon is going to pop down your tower unless you do something about it.
Yeah, he is going to have to use that immunity correctly against his Diana, especially with the positioning of that circle in order to not get blown up in one shot by the Diana ult, but it's a bit of a skill matchup, so hopefully we get to see something here.
I think Hippo's fine to just probably, oh, we got a big fight. Rook is caught out. Rook, what are you doing there, bud? Giving TJ some more gold, some more money to spend.
Pretty far out of position there, especially given that they had no vision.
Yeah, I know we didn't get a look at it, but not really sure what he was doing. Maybe just trying to clear the wave and went a little too far.
Trying to throw some saplings out to get that vision. It seems so desperately needed.
Absolutely. Just a sapling in lane, just because.
Yes.
You never like to see that while you got Barons. Maybe he thought the minions would help more than they did.
Yeah, and that's kind of going to prevent them from really using this Baron. They're probably going to get, like, a small push, maybe when Rook comes up, but, like, other than that, most of that Baron will have gone to waste, other than the gold, of course.
Sure. I mean, you don't allow the other team to take it, but yeah, I don't even think they got that bot tower. I'll think Mid was able to hold it. The Tower of Canyon's not able to do enough to finish it off. And TJ is starting to get pretty darn strong. I think he still needs a little more gold to finish off a third item, but he's getting there. He's not far off. And when he gets that, anybody out of position is just absolutely toast.
Absolutely. This Diana is going to be very scary when that Zhonya's is complete. Just reckless abandon, EQ, QE ulting, and then just hitting that Zhonya's to live through it. They can really do a lot of damage to that enemy team if you get 2 or 3 champs stacked up.
Agreed. I with the Hex tech, with the Ignite, I don't see many people living through the all take mid, all in Zhonya's. Hit him with your second set of abilities combo.
Yeah, so, I mean, Speedy will be safe, but
sure.
that Jace may die very quickly, and you know the Diana engage does work fairly well against the Gwen. It's melee range.
Again, just some positioning or posturing around the bottom side, trying to clear a few wards. Drake isn't yet for a minute and a half, but
on that back, Twitch also finishes 3rd items. Both ADs are pretty well online right now.
I guess my money's probably on Speedy, just because Xayah seems pretty darn broken. But again, with the TJ can hit just an absolute crazy combo. If a bunch of people get caught in a Jarvan ult or a big Scion knockup and he hits them with 3, 4, 5, 6 quick autos across the entire team, goodbye.
All it takes is getting popped up by a Braum ult, and that Xayah dies in that airborne.
Yeah.
Nothing, can't even get your ult off if that Twitch comes out. So hopefully Speedy is going to be able to use his quick reaction time to make sure he doesn't get stunned by pretty much anything unless TJ is out of the picture.
So we do have Drake coming up in about 40 seconds. I think the team's just trying to get a couple final pushes. Rick does have TP. Probably wouldn't be surprised to see him just keep pushing that top lane and use that TP for the important Drake fight coming up. No, he is just going to back and waddle his way over there. But this next Drake is going to be the showdown we've been waiting for.
Yeah, and great vision set up here by blue side. Already on this dragon, ready to take it. They don't want to give up that soul into that death ball comp. Really preemptive positioning here by them.
I think you almost need Rick maybe to come in. Oh, we do see Hippo going over the wall. Rudy's in trouble. TJ is safe for now. Rudy's still in trouble. Bunny is going to probably have to ult and die in it. TJ with a bunch of damage coming. Big Renata ult. TJ is just pumping it out. He's in a not great spot. Does survive. Rick is in there just doing so much damage it doesn't even seem fair.
Yeah, they have to move away from that Twitch though. They weren't really able to get on TJ there.
Great positioning to enable TJ to hit over the wall. Scion going in. We've seen what he did before. Probably not going to finish the kill here, but is going to zone him out. They're going to take the Drake. Massive team fight.
Yeah, they're going to have the soul off this too. I mean, they went in hard trying to get TJ there. They knew that was their win con, was to not let that guy get out of stealth, load up his R, and start popping off with huge range and piercing shot.
I didn't see the exact moment Speedy went down, but he has flash. I don't know if he had it when he died, but we said he's got to play safe, and he didn't. I think they're probably going to take this pretty uncontested, maybe some Talon mid poke, but he's got to be careful.
I mean, they don't have a jungler right now, so...
Right here. Big Scion knockup coming. I'll take mid, squeaks away. Talon's going down. Baron's still at half health. Hippogriff probably doesn't want this fight. He's caught. They kind of have to take the fight now. Big Scion knockup. TJ's popping off. From stuns coming around. Speed. Flash Speedy. Be careful here, bud. Bunny remix just hiding in the bush. That's a Spurg move if I've ever seen it. Goes in and dies immediately. Big Renata ult. Wow. Okay. Okay, clean up. Can he get Rook? I think yes.
He will. Yeah. huge. I mean, really big return fight there from Riot HR. It looked miserable at the beginning. Little inty even, trying to contest that Baron 1v3. I mean, even though their jungler wasn't there yet, you're just gonna get turned on and you're gonna die. I mean, you're still just a Jace. But yeah, Dog Pound continues the chase and bit off a little bit more than they could chew, walking right into that Maokai ult and all that Speedy damage.
Nice dog reference. Let's keep them coming. You love to see it. Yeah, Speedy does get some damage off and does live enough to make a difference this time. I think that's probably the difference between the first fight where they all got wiped and that one. Huge. I agree. It looked a little inty at first. Talon mid going in, but knows his limits, apparently. I'll take mid. Was low, did dive in, have to blow that Zanya's in a bit of an unfortunate way because it really bought time for him to die right after he came out of that.
Yeah, it's like so far team fights, despite what Riot HR is like lacking in, straight up team fight ability in their champion kits, they're still playing these fights very well.
Braum gonna slide away, no risk. They are gonna start the Baron. Okay.
Yeah, Scion's bot, he does have TP up, though. He needs to get on that TP now.
It's a little late here, folks, for the TP. They do take the Baron. They're trying to get away. I don't know if they're going to be able to. Rudy's probably going to. Figuring out all coming in. Bunny dives in. Bunny's in trouble as well. Gwen just barely living. Goes. Oh my goodness, he's still alive. What in the world is going on? What a fight from Gwen!
Yes.
Oh
man, Hippo goes massive there.
Quadra kill!
Somehow stays alive through all that. Gwen is immune. Yes, it is a meme, but it's also true. And clearly Hippo showcased his ability to handle that champion right there.
My goodness. Wow, that's going to be a couple towers, probably in Hib. I think we'll see how fast they can clear it, but
Rudy had a very good block on the Renata ult as well. Like that ult did almost nothing in the fight. I think it might have hit one person before running into those big shields, but didn't matter much.
No, they're not going to try to end, right? There's no way. Is there a way?
They're doing it.
They're going to do it.
That's going to be a GG here unless a miracle happens.
Wow. What a final fight. We talked about the showdown. We talked about the big bang, the big fight. There it was. We talked about the win con, Hippo. Yes, I think it was him, Lemon, with the huge ult. Yeah, Hippo baited him. They wanted him the whole time, and he was riding around at about 5% HP for 10 seconds. They couldn't finish him. He just kept doing damage. He got the quadra kill.
Yeah, and I mean, the matchup didn't go the way that I think you and I thought it might
No.
go. But, I mean, Hippo still ends up, just taking over on the back of Speedy's damage as well in that last team fight. And, just despite not having flash, despite having no tank items, Gwen still lives forever.
Congrats on the Gambers for those that came out with points. Again, your point is fair. It didn't go the way we thought maybe at first, or even for 90% of the game. But then he turned it around. If you look at the damage graphs, are so interesting. Unfortunately, Spurg sign didn't do the most damage. TJ doing a valiant effort, but just not enough damage maybe coming out from I'll take mid on some of those fights to finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why it was, but some of those team fights, it just felt like Bunny was like almost useless in team fights. In the ganks, he was certainly showing up, but that Jarvan's kind of difficult to engage on into that Renata team.
I think they were looking for some kind of wombo combo. Diana pulls him in, Jarvan all them all, Braum knock him up, but just it was too complicated, too many pieces of the puzzle that needed to fit together just right, and they couldn't pull it off.
Mm-hmm. And like as you mentioned, that Lemon on that Renata just kind of throwing that ult at him each time they engaged, it became a huge problem, despite even in that last team fight it being blocked by Rudy.
All right, with that, we're going to throw it to a short break. We'll see you back here for game 2.
Depth of the lilting abyss on Threnody.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door. Take up the cause.
Welcome back to the TCL. We're here. Game 2 coming up soon. An absolute slobber knocker in that first game. It felt I don't know, the first 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes that it was going one way. And like the pendulum that TCL is, it swung right back in the other direction. And through the great play of Hippo, Lemon, Talon, Rook, and Speedy, they somehow managed to squeak it out late game.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as the matchups go, kind of went the way I thought. I thought the Gwen would actually have more impact earlier in the game. It took until like 30 minutes for Hippo to really start popping off on the champion, but the bot lane kind of went how I thought it would. I thought TJ would come out of that lane just nuking people, coming out of stealth on that Twitch, and I assumed the win con for Riot HR would have been to just get on top of TJ and take him down before he's able to return all those kills. And didn't even seem like they were doing that. Just seemed like they were just going right at their face and just plowing through them. But that is the Gwen damage.
Yeah, again, we talked about it in the game, but Gwen just barely living in there, squeaking it out. Was the key to that victory, but it was more than just Gwen. I mean, we saw Lemon with. I mean, if you were to take an average of how many people got hit by the Lemon ults that game, it's got to be 4 and some change. He was hitting everybody, and that swung the fights in a big way.
Incredible ults out of Lemon. Just great team fight play by Hippo as well. And I'm surprised Riot HR was able to win into that comp that seemed like was going to just roll over them.
So we're in the draft now. Here are the draft coming through the picks. What would you do differently? Either team. With the first couple bands we're seeing looks like nothing differently. But I'm surprised that we don't see him mixing it up a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm the Dog Pound coming off of that L, there's a lot of that loss I specifically would put on the fact that they had that Renata. Yeah. There were 2 team fights, one around like 15-minute mark, and then one around like the 21-minute mark that were just completely turned by a Renata ult. They should have just wiped them, but they weren't able to. That Renata ult was like a 2.5 second stun on your whole team, and then everybody's kind of chipping each other down. I think that was the catalyst for their loss that game.
So they think the Rook Stout Maokai was the enabler. And I think in many ways he was sort of the unsung hero. We talked about he really needed to prove himself this series. He did it. He proved himself so far. And they want to give him the Maokai again, gave him some good agency. And they think that's first pick worthy. A little bit of a different pick coming here. TJ may be one of the Varus. We know he likes to play that a lot.
I wonder if he's going to go poker on hit here. It might come down to what Riot HR is thinking as far as their champ pool, though.
Agreed. I have to assume that probably gives you a different support as well on that side, but interested to see here.
It was nice to see Rook really have a good game. Really, really outstanding ults from him.
And there's the support pick that we foretold was maybe coming, the Leona. Huh. I think that makes sense a little bit. Probably means he's not going poke then, I would imagine.
I would hope with the Leona, although the lane matchup doesn't, strictly dictate what you're gonna go. I mean, just because you have a Leona, you leave lane and that Leona's off running around doing her own thing sometimes. So could still go poke. It's looking tough to go on hit though into Jace Gwen, Maokai. So unless there's something that Dogpound's going to pick up here that's going to keep Varus safe, you might have a very hard time getting those autos in.
Surprised to see the Scion again. I know
They love the matchup apparently.
Yeah, but we saw after that third or fourth Drake time frame what that feels like, and it's not Scion favored. I will admit a little bit of that was Rick maybe just being too far from the fight and joining a little too late, but just couldn't have the impact. There's the Renata ban. Spurg's happy. He knew that was
very happy to see that if they're going to play another Scion Wombo combo style of team here.
I was interested to see if we would just get the 5 same champs, but they're ruining everyone's fun banning the Renata. Do they repeat again and just not do a ban here? No, they do a ban here. Okay.
I'm glad to see different bans coming out here, mostly because I love variety and I did not want to see the same lanes repeated over again. So far, it looks like Riot HR is keen to just pick all the same champs, other than that Renata. So maybe we'll see a no Lulu ban here from Riot HR. Maybe Lemon will lock in a Lulu.
You think he probably? Yeah, it feels like it, and they might be trying to go for something, a spicy AD choice that might play a little differently. But yeah, they're showing Lemon a little respect, throwing 2 bans his way, saying that Renata was too good and your Morg's too good. So let's see you play something else.
Interested to see what I'll take mid is gonna do. He's got counter pick. The Diana didn't look bad. It just didn't look very useful.
Yeah, there's no way they take Diana. Okay, that's a spicy meatball. Okay.
All right, Bunny. Let's see what you got. I mean, it's probably it's gonna be the AP Shyvana looking to look at. I would love to see now the poke Varus with the Shyvana really laying down a lot of damage from a long way away.
Here's first Shyvana TCL. The historians are happy to see this. Maybe we'll see a Sona. Probably unlikely.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I felt like we have quite a number of junglers in this league who would play Shyvana, myself included. I don't think any of my team captains have ever let me though.
Spurg, you're your own person. You can play whatever you want. Don't let them boss you around. Don't be baited by the hovers here. Some chatter in the stream about maybe wanting to see that Varus mid. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Maybe? I don't
know. Varus mid? A Vygar bot?
You could see that, but I don't think we're seeing that. I think it's going to be the Syndra.
We are not seeing that. Lulu did get picked up there by Riot HR, as we kind of suspected might happen for Lemon. Obviously, they didn't ban it, so it felt like they were going to pick it. What do you think about these the lane matchups here, Jbob? Any that stick out to you? Obviously, we've talked about the top lane, enough. Talked that to death in the last matchup, but anywhere else?
I think the Syndra is a lot better pick than the Diana was. It feels a little stronger in lane, maybe a little more impactful later on when you can just pick the Jace and just ult him, click your R, press it on him, and kill him. Seems pretty great. Of course, you got the Lulu to shield. That could maybe ruin that fun a little bit, but I do think the Syndra is a stronger pick. The Varus Leona lane, I think does make sense.
It's
but
scary. It's certainly scary to play against. I mean, there's a lot of damage and a lot of CC that can come out when they're both level 6. And even to counter ganks on their own lane. It can be really tough to get in on those two champions.
Speaking of getting in, if you want to get in on the action, join LOL1 in the TCL Discord. We'll pull you up. See lots of you in chat. 30 or so of you on the stream. Let's get somebody here in the stream and talk to us about what you guys think. The Gamba, the scam, the bet, whatever you want to call it, it's up. Right now I'm peeking it. Everyone going for Riot HR so far for the first early bets. We've got
free channel points if you guys have already read today's script for the league.
We do have someone looking to come up. They're down in LOL1. So production. There you go. Mr. Bully,
Hey.
Welcome to the party. Give us your thoughts either on the first game, the draft, whatever you want to go for.
I never do this, but I just felt so compelled to join and say that I think this draft from Dog Pound is like mental boom and a half. There's no way this makes sense. Like, they got throttled by Gwen last game and just decided to go even worse champions to deal with it. I know it's the first Shyvana, but I think we maybe have a Milton rebellion between the two of them. I think Jared has decided that TJ is going to be in a little bit of elo hell this game. Picks the most random Shyvana I have ever seen in my life. I don't know
you
what
don't
they're doing
think
here.
the Poke Varus in combination with the AP Shyvana with the big E's coming out in Dragon form is
Gwen
going to
can
be
Gwen
enough?
can immune all kinds of damage. Doesn't matter if it's Poke Varus, AD Varus, AP Varus, AP Shyvana, regular Shyvana. Gwen immunes all that stuff anyway. And that's the champion that I think if you watch that game, like, really was able to carry and just zone through the backline. No Renata is kind of interesting though. I think Lemon actually kind of had a pretty huge impact on Renata last game, so it makes the fights a little easier to approach, but like Lulu is so strong anyway at peeling for Speedy that I think it probably nets out in, even or maybe even slightly in their favor. And this just looks like a straight up better version of the draft they got versus a worse comp at dealing with it.
So you're throwing your Gamba points in the
I
direction
think I already
of
did,
Riot
yeah.
HR. Yeah. So
Yeah. My imaginary Monopoly money, yeah.
It's not
It's all in.
imaginary. It's really there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's really there for now. I don't know that I've won like ever though, so take what I say with
I have not. I have
bit of a grain
gambled
of
on
salt.
games at least a dozen times, and I've never won a single channel point.
Yeah, I only went on my games. I mean, just kidding.
Whoa.
Anyway,
you Detroit Lion, you might get suspended from the league for betting on your own games. That's awkward.
If I'm
Woo!
getting suspended from the league, it's not for betting. Anyway, but yeah, we will see how it looks. But I don't think you gotta ask me. I think this is a solid Riot HR 2-0. Get it done, and then Bob, we get to meet them in the first round. We get to meet TDP in the first round. Sorry,
It's an
that'll
easy
be a
win.
heater. Easy
Oh, yeah.
dub.
Easy dub.
Easy dub indeed.
All right, young bully. Appreciate your insights. I think we're on board with it for the most part. Still a minute and a half or so on Gamba. So sneak that in if you haven't already. If you're tuned in, if you want to win some points, you want to be part of the community, you want to flex on your friends, throw all of your points towards. I guess you don't even have to throw who you think's going to win because we don't know either. We'll wait and see. Another 5-point start. Spurg, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna invade. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you have to have a cheeky invade and you have to get pretty lucky. I would like to see, because Dog Pound is strong with the level 1 here, with either the Leona or the constant damage coming out from that Syndra, or even the Scion Q, as you stated last game. I'd like to see them go in and get some early vision. Rook isn't incredibly inclined, based on his history, to early gank, but just the idea that could happen, you can certainly squash that with a good ward.
So give us, you're the jungler, or at least you pretend to be. You play one on TV. The Shyvana Maokai matchup, probably one you play just absolute nearly every game, so I'm sure you got deep knowledge of it.
I used to play a lot of Shyvana actually, but
Okay.
Maokai wasn't really in the jungler meta at the time. But I mean, as far as that matchup goes, I mean, Shyvana is just going to rip Maokai apart as soon as she has an item. And probably even before that, as long as you know level 5, you got a few points in that E, you're just gonna start crushing that Maokai. So if they happen to just get in a fight between the two of them, it certainly goes Bunny's way, but that's unlikely to happen. All right, as far as ganks go, though, obviously the Maokai much more sufficient at that.
So similar start from the jungles, both starting on the bottom side. We thought maybe that meant some spicy top lane action. That didn't really ever play out. Could this time. We see a little different action with the Shyvana maybe. Rook doing the exact same thing he did last time, starting, going down, going for the Krugs. Syndra already showing that this is a stronger lane, getting some early damage down on Talon. Nothing that's going to scare him, nothing that's going to kill him, but certainly more damage than we saw from the Diana early, which was nuts because it's just not a great early matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, between the speedy ult and the Gwen immune, I really hope we see a wasted Syndra ult at some point this game.
It's inevitable. You got to assume.
I'm here for the people. I'm here for the content, and I want that.
I'll take mid. Does continue the damage spree. Hippo looking for some earlier trades. Yeah, Syndra putting the big pressure on Talon here. So showing it's a better pick. Still staying up nicely.
We're gonna go for a flash play here. He'd like to go before I'll take mid hits level 3.
No dice.
Well spaced there by mid. Kind of just bouncing back and forth as you're able to do on that Syndra because you never have to stop to cast.
Stayed topside, knew where his vision was, played safe. More damage onto the Jace. I'll take mid, says, get your jungler out of here. I'm going to keep smacking you. We actually might see some more dive action here. Probably
Rook, you got a flash here.
Oh. Okay, maybe thought he was slightly out of range.
I mean, I
think
think
be pretty tight.
it feels like they should just continue that. As long as Talon spaces correctly, he should be pretty well off Syndra there. But in any case, I don't think they knew where the jungler was and were a bit scared that maybe Shyvana would approach and turn that one on its head.
All right, so the top lane this time going a little more than I thought we would. Okay, Rudy, we do see a heal come out from TJ. Rudy does not have to flash, but just tons of damage. Absolute tons of damage going on. Side of Speedy and Lemon didn't have to use any sums. Still doing well. Jace gets the back canceled. That's going to put him in a really awkward position where he's probably going to have to stay.
He does still have that TP, so he's not overly concerned, I think.
He's just going to cancel it again. What are you doing? Come on, Talon Man. I thought you were supposed to be like Masters or something. Back safely, my friend.
Oh, interestingly, TJ took lethal tempo here.
Okay.
So he will be going beyond hit build. I think he's going to have a really hard time laying autos down. I think Maokai's going to be his primary target.
Yeah, we talked about how that maybe makes sense for lane, just with Leona having that much lockdown, but the rest of his team doesn't have a ton. Obviously, you got a Syndra stun in there, a Sion knockup or something, but you really want to surround yourself with a team where you can just get a whole bunch of help. Rick is probably fine here, but does take some damage. Hippo doing much better on the CS front than he was last time, up by 10 or so. Maybe
I think he's controlling the wave a bit better than he did in that last game. I think that's the difference we're seeing here. I think he learned that he can just kind of keep Rick away from it as long as he keeps the wave in a good spot.
Yeah, and Rick can still sneak in a cheeky E or a big Q and finish off a minion or two. But he is going to crash the wave under his tower here. Probably not this wave, but the next wave. And then I would suspect back up and back to lane. There's just no jungle pressure from top side or towards top side from either team. A little surprised again to see that. It just seems like
mid and bot are both advantaged here, and they're just getting a free drag off of it. And kind of the same thing they had last game, where they just have a better position for that dragon. I mean, last game was on the back of a lemon gank, but it seems like they're prioritizing these dragons, and I mean they're getting them every time. I mean they had Soul last game.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Sion's gonna back here, gonna have to TP back, no big deal. I think this is probably a farm lane for the next 5-6 minutes anyway, so we won't lose too many CS, maybe not even any from needing to back. Picks up, going towards the Sunfire, looks like, Calming Cinder. Syndra misses that stun. Talon says, I'll step up and take a couple CS when that's down. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm not very schooled in mid lane matchups, but based on this, it seems like Jace is not doing very well into the Syndra, which isn't surprising. If Jace is ever going to try to go in, he'll just get knocked back. And it just seems like I'll think mid just has too much damage, especially with the poke with the Aerie.
Yeah, so Talon looking to play pretty aggro there. Jumps in and Power Shock blasts the wave just to clear it. Does get stunned. Takes a good chunk of damage. I don't really think he's looking to kill Syndra. He's just looking to safely get out. He's got the tier. He's scaling up. It certainly is not going favorably. I have to imagine he's going to get his back stopped again. I'll take mid just isn't nice and doesn't let him back for free. So it's just kind of wasting time. I don't know, maybe he's just trying to make him waste mana there or what. I'll take mid. Doesn't have a ton of mana to throw around some big combos at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they might be trying to set something up here with Rook approaching. He's gonna get spotted by that ward. He does still have flash.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take mid knows what's up. The jig is up.
Yeah,
He's fine.
Rook, he saw that you swept his ward.
Yeah. Strange to stand there. Don't really know what the thought process is.
And yeah,
Wasting
like
time.
so far, builds this game not going the way we expected.
No. Do you want to maybe mention something about the bot lane that you, or the jungle that you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
so I mean, as we said, TJ not going the poke build. We were thinking that it might pair well with an AP Shyvana, but we're seeing neither of them. There's no AP Shyvana. It's AD. Like we're gonna see what looks like it's gonna be a Wit's End Shyvana first item.
I suppose I see it. Again, you're the jungle king, so I'll let you weigh in on that choice. I think it might actually be the right pick. It's just a little unconventional.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not gonna do much early and at level 6. Like, it's not gonna feel dangerous as the AP Shyvana does. You know, who's ulting and then hitting 2 or 3 people with an E for half of their HP. But in extended fights, it's gonna be able to do more, and it's always good to go the build like this into a tankier team. But that's not Riot HR. I mean, they have a single jungle tank potentially. I'm assuming that Rook is going to be building tanky here, not an AP build. But
Sure.
obviously we've been wrong consecutively now, so who knows? But I would expect that this Shyvana build, although it can do a lot of damage, I feel like we're just not going to see it this game.
Yeah, so I agree, and just alert to the TCL out there. Don't just use your objective there, your Herald, as soon as you show up. Take a plate or two, and then use it, right? It's going to take all the true damage, it's going to take more. Don't use it like that. But they do get a bunch of plate gold either way, so they're happy for that.
In defensive junglers, you don't know who and when people
Sure,
are going to
sure.
show up, so you want to just make sure you secure plates. And sometimes you get caught leaving a tower at like 100 HP and it's got 1,000 armor and you can't break it.
We do see a little exchange coming here, bot. TJ's in trouble, does ult for his own safety. Tries to block him out, Kyle. Instead, they both take it. I think TJ's in big bad trouble. Lots of ults coming down. TJ's dead. Rook makes it out. Solid engage. Gets both the sums from TJ. Rudy walks away. Doesn't need to use anything, but his teammate's dead. That's no fun.
And those ults are going to be down for this dragon that's about to come up. That's going to be important. Those are 2 huge ults for the dog pound.
Yeah, a massive ult from Rook just to start that off and to keep TJ out of the game. We do see Hippo looking to go in big time here on I'll Take Mid. Gonna try to flash out. Does have the Ignite burning down. Oh no, Hippo. No good. That's unlucky. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? You don't have flashes. Gwen, it's your best shot is to keep throwing those knives and scissors in that direction, but nope. Makes it out.
And he was very close, but not
We
that
do see the
flash.
Shyvana ult. Shyvana looking to slap some people, but like you said, early, still not that strong. Gwen going for a huge fight. Get the Lulu knockup to cancel the Scion Q. Hippo still goes down. TJ looking to just absolutely slap some people. Speedy sneaking in and sneakily doing a bunch of damage. Huge Xayah ult. Bunny's toast. Rook's toast. Speedy just keeps throwing the feathers at people. Huge fight from Speedy. Rick, I don't
And
think
Talon
you win that
coming in
fight.
there as well. Talon came over that wall and decimated 2 of them. At the beginning, it looked awful. Again, another fight that looked terrible for Riot HR at the beginning. A very questionable engage in a 1v3 type situation by Hippo. But again, they were able to turn it. Not turn it completely, of course.
No,
you know.
sure, sure, but they didn't
still
just
lost 3 of their own members.
They
But
didn't completely run it down, and a couple kills to Speedy, more gold in his direction. Hasn't finished his first item. I think he's gonna back here pretty soon. I think he went and picked up a couple minions before that, maybe just a few gold short of an item.
Yeah, as you pointed out too, that Shyvana, not scared when that Shyvana gets 5 items.
Does have the Blade of Roofing now. Rook is in big trouble here. Rook's going to go down. TJ just keeps slapping people. Hippo's probably all right. They're still looking to push. Rudy, watch out. Gets a nice Shyvana over the wall. Gwen goes down.
Stacked up now. He's gonna start pumping damage.
I think that's the disengage there. But speaking of Hippo, goodbye Hippo, you're dead. I think they take the Drake. I think they can just pull it out and be a little safe here.
Yeah, I mean, Rook just respawned. This should be easy for them. They've got plenty of damage. They do need to back pretty quickly, though.
Ooh, almost a cheeky feather steal there. I saw it, but just couldn't finish it. Rick does have to back off after the Hippo TP top. Good force of the TP top.
Bunny ended up going with that Bork first, which, again, I'm not sure I totally agree with. It's going to make him sticky, but like it's another, another thing that adds to AD Shyvana's tank killing setup, which, the Bork to the max health or the current health damage against no tanks.
Against
Riot
Maokai? Yeah, he's trying to scrap with Maokai in the jungle. You probably don't want to fight the guy that looks like a tree in the jungle. That probably favors him. Strange, I agree. But to just point out that top lane matchup again, as they slap each other a little bit, assume Hippo's fine here, but just doing the damage. Maybe I misspoke. Looks for the ult. Hippo wants the all in. Definitely not going to get the kill, right? Just walks away. Forces some cooldowns to be used. Forces the ult. Absolutely hits the damage still.
Both junglers coming in here.
Big fight. Rook, I think, is going to hit the root here. They're just, I think, going to walk away. But what I was pointing out is Hippo is in the same position as first game, and I can't believe it. He's now down in CS. He's down in kills. He's down in assists, and he's up in the one thing you don't want to be, deaths. Talk to me, Spurg.
Yeah, I mean, he came... Hippo came to a lot of those team fights where maybe he would have been better served.
Little exchange of ults from the ADs. Leona doesn't. I was hoping Rudy would just ult in. Speedy splash, I think, was up then, so could have done it, or cleansed it as
nothing
necessary.
coming out of that, unfortunately. We need more blood in TCL. Always need more blood.
All right, to all you people in the game that are watching stream illegally, Spurg has requested more blood. Give it to him.
So yeah, and yeah, like Hippo was in a lot of those early fights over those objectives, those team fights, and he didn't get anything out of it. Even in the fights where they got kills, Hippo was dead before those kills came, and then immediately following that went to another team fight and died immediately. So he's gonna be put behind because of those things. And you're seeing that in the top lane matchup right now.
Speaking of not getting anything, Syndra does throw the ult onto Jace. I assume just to push him on a lane, but he's staying. So maybe a little bit of a misuse there. Jace thinks he can poke down the Syndra a fair bit and stay alive. Speedy just keeps trying to CS under tower safely. Don't think with that Lulu there's any real kill potential from the Varus.
Bunny just sneaking a Rift Herald right out from under their noses right now. They have vision around it, but not on it.
Yeah, I think something we've seen from Bunny, certainly the games I've played against him this season, he loves the Herald, and it enables his lane. Speaking of enabling lane, Talon does have to flash to safety, but okay, he stayed when he shouldn't have. We thought that he was going to stay, do some damage to Syndra, but nope, went the other way around.
It's going to be very tough for Talon to ever get a kill on the Syndra now without flash.
Speaking of flash, Syndra's in trouble. Rook stout.
Doesn't matter. What Talon couldn't do, Rook did easily.
Wow, of course. Give it to the tree. He'll ult. Speaking of the tree, he's maybe in trouble. This is where you want that Bork. He wants to slap him. He's in trouble. Bunny! Sir, you don't do any damage.
That AD Shyvana really needs 2 to 3 items to start popping. To
all
really
in
get any
here. They need to finish the tower. PJ's in huge trouble here, I think. Lemon just going Chad mode. Flashes on him. They're going to walk away. Rudy's still in big trouble.
Actually, huge play by Lemon there.
Yeah.
Big
Oh, no.
TP.
This is from Syndra. Oh, goodness. Oh, they really want the Xayah. Still some damage from Xayah to come out, but does finish him off. Oof, I agree. Big play for the flash ult on yourself there, but forgot the state of the map. Forgot there was a TP from the Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in a little skirmish like that, a lot of times that thought doesn't cross your mind.
Sure.
You always have to think about that beforehand if you really want to consider it. And it's tough to do. It's tough to realize that all of these sums are across the map.
I'll take mid. Just throws the scuttler at him. Doesn't care. Doesn't even need it. Yeah, I agree. That's where you lean on your team. You got to be always thinking about what in my laner called. Does he still have CC? But when you're Spurg, when you want the blood, when you're thirsty for it, you're not thinking, what random summoner spell from across the map could kill me? You want your own kill.
And I am very much the player that gets caught by that every single time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what you're seeing here, though, again, Dog Pound, fantastic vision around the dragon. I mean, they're getting all of the map objectives in these games, except that single Baron they lost.
They're going to drop the Herald mid. That should lock that mid tower in. Yep, here comes the charge. That allows the tempo to continue around Dragon. They've got the vision. They've got mid lane pushing. They pulled it out a little bit. Rook does not have a splash. Could take the blast one over, but I think they're just going to give it.
These free stats, they're going to start scaling up on this Shyvana. And if he can keep up his CS and get a gold advantage, with the flat stat advantage he's already got moving for him, he might end up being a force pretty shortly here.
All right, Spurg. So this is a pretty familiar game state to game one, right? It's not totally different, and this is about some way.
The only difference
where we saw the turn.
if you look at the top lane and the bottom lane, is that last game there were 3 less towers on the map for red side, so the gold looked a lot different. As far as game state, it may feel the same,
sure,
but there is a significant discrepancy in gold, and a lot of it has to do with those 2 standing top towers. They didn't get the Rift Herald dropped up there. Hippo left to go do team fights across the map instead of just pushing his lane, which he's trying to be the team player, but he didn't get anything in those fights, so he ended up behind me.
So if you're Riot HR here, you're feeling quite a bit behind. You're feeling it because you are quite a bit behind. What do? Do you try to somehow get Hippo back on track? Do you get Rook and Hippo to roam together? Do something, maybe catch the Shyvana out and get him a kill, get him rolling. What's your thought? What are you saying right now in team comms if you're on the side of the HR department?
I think you leave Hippo on an island up there against Rick as best you can and let him start to outscale that Scion with all that damage that Gwen can do. And then you try and pressure elsewhere. Hopefully get a pick on somebody if they can. Use that vision that they've been fairly decent at so far in this series, and pick somebody off, because I think that's the only way that they're going to win that 4v4 that they'd be left with without the island top.
Yeah, it's hard to catch somebody out though when your opposing team is just deep warring both sides of your jungle because you have no tempo in any of your lanes.
I think they need to take little wins here. I think they need to all in on a Leona who's coming into the jungle to drop a ward. Take that little W, maybe turn it into turret damage, or if you're lucky, a full turret. You got to start taking the little things.
I think Rudy knows that they're going to do that, and that's why he's got the stopwatch. He's baiting them in. Nobody expects the Leona stopwatch.
That's true. Very smart pickup by him. And is that because he's got the mastery?
Probably.
The rune?
But let's just give him credit that he bought it and spent all of his hard-earned gold on it. But it's gonna pay off. I think you're right, because that allows him to play aggressive, get up for the deep wards, and say to himself, if I'm in trouble, I've got this as a backup option, and my team can be here by then.
Now let's just hope he uses it. I've seen quite a few times in TCL where stopwatches go unclicked, where they certainly should have.
Sure, we're seeing that he does have the perfect timing, but he knew this would happen. He saw ahead. He pulled out the crystal ball, and he knew what to take. Maybe that's more normal in Leona than I realized, but it doesn't feel like it.
I mean, it is a good rune to take on the Leona, because you're E'ing in. Even in lane on a dive, very good for that after it activates.
That makes sense. Yeah.
In any case, right now it seems like the game is slowing down a little bit while both teams are setting up for Baron vision.
I think slowing down is what the HR department wants. I don't think the Baron Vision is what they want, because they're not
It
going to
is
win
a
that
little
fight.
scary for them, though. I mean, a scaling Syndra and a scaling AD Shyvana, who you like to abuse in the early game when they're not quite as strong. They're just going to get scarier as the game goes. I mean, Shyvana's building that Jack show, probably go one more tank item and some damage, and it's just going to run right at him with that Ghost and that W.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some objectives on the map or coming up. I'm surprised they're not pushing for more vision around it a little sooner. They're just so far ahead. Why don't you just force them to come to you on Baron and take the fight and smack them around with the 5k gold lead you got, 5.5k.
And that's exactly what I think they should do.
Yeah.
It's especially like with Talon bot lane right now. Just leave the two of them down there. Take the 4v4. Syndra can stop the TP.
Here's your play, Spurg. They're going on Leona, but there's only 2 of them. A bunch of TPs coming in. Light from the sky brings in the people. Huge fight. Scion ult coming in. Rook is doing okay. Huge Scion knockup. Leona ult only catches a couple. Hippogriff goes down. TJ is on a killing spree. I think that's Baron.
Yeah, 3 for 0. Looked kind of easy for them. They were taking a bunch of damage at one point, but I think it just ran out as soon as all of Chase's abilities were used. Zaya got kind of pushed out of that. I didn't even see what happened to him. I think he might have just flopped on that Scion engage.
Maybe a Syndra ult.
I think it was a Syndra ult on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did what they needed to do, and they just threw their wallets at him. They're like, let's just start a fight. We're gonna take you guys out, and we're gonna take the objective, and they're gonna pick up a soul map.
Well, I'm glad they listened to us, right? We said, what should you do? Go take the Baron fight, force the team fight, smoke them. That's what they did. That's gonna be a hard one to come back from, right? It looks like they're gonna go take the next Drake, and I don't see them catching up in any way. Like we talked about, the Shyvana's getting super strong, Syndra's getting super strong, Scion might as well be immune. Varus, more damage. Rudy apparently isn't gonna die this game. This is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, it's looking really good for the Dog Pound this game. They're doing everything they did correctly last game, except they're not giving up those stationary map objectives anymore. They're not giving up those turrets. They're not giving up nearly as many trade kills in team fights because of that Renata ban.
Big team fight coming in here. They're caught out. Hippo does get the shutdown onto Varus. Rudy does flash away to safety. Syndra ults away safe to live. Oh, sorry, Shyvana, not Syndra. And you get a kill. You'll take it. It's better than nothing. Syndra might be in trouble here. Maybe thinks he can take the 1v1. Lands some poke. Still has the ult. They back away. Bunny just trying to let him CS. Big fight coming here. Lemon's in
Huge
trouble.
from Rick.
Lemon with a big flash. Rick, finish him. Slap him. I think Rick's gonna get him, right? No? Shield? Slow? Good with your E? All right, I think Lulu's toast. Yeah? Goodbye. Gotta be. Grasp proc, good night. Okay, another big twist. It just keeps happening. There's more fights. Syndra's in big trouble and needs to watch out. Maokai Q takes you down. Okay. Rudy wants more. Rudy's going in. Goodbye, Mr. Talon mid, I think. With the E, the duck. There it is. Rudy just doesn't care. Walks in by the power of the sun.
He'll
kills
take
him.
it. It's free.
It's free real estate.
And what looked good, like a very good play by Riot HR to pick up one of the little things I was talking about. You know, they go all in on the TJ with the Maokai ult and they start pushing. It was perfect. It was perfect. And then they find themselves flanked with a Scion ult, and they all clump together and they all die for it. I don't know if they missed him on a ward or how he got to where he was. I didn't see that part, but that's just very unfortunate. Because they were doing everything right up until that big play there by Riot.
BD in trouble here. I think he's okay. If Syndra's stun would have landed, maybe he'd be in bigger trouble. Does have Lemon there on Lulu to keep him safe. They're gonna take the bot tower here. It's also free real estate. More money from the map. We got over 10k gold lead. I think you just ARAM in a lane and you just end it.
I think so. All of Dog Pound's turrets are still up. It's not looking good in the gold category for Riot HR at the moment, and they're just getting suffocated out. All of their jungle is being taken. The objectives will continually be taken right now until they win the game, unless Riot HR can find an in. They need to find a way to engage on one or two folks, pick up some kills, maybe get the next Baron.
Yeah, I just think that, I guess that's fair. You group around the Baron or something. You repeat what we said needs to happen. You take the team fight. You smoke them. You probably already have Baron, so you push him in the game. Talon runs away, like the little scared Jace that he is. Rudy, not afraid at all. I think he did use the stopwatch at some point, so he's not going to be the meme that Spurg wanted him to be. Clears vision single-handedly. Doesn't need
Red side just not allowing them any vision of anything. So that in that we're talking about that Riot HR needs, they're closing all the doors. There's almost no place for them to go.
Yeah, agreed. And unlike Rioclu, uses wards. You know, gets the vision. Love you, Rioclu. I know you're watching. Yeah, it's again, Rudy's showing up big time, shutting down the vision. Still hasn't died. I said won't die this game. That's my hot prediction. Probably not a bold one at this point, but
yeah, he's having a great game.
Saya does have to ult. Saya's still in big trouble here. Oh, huge
just
under ult.
so much damage.
Oh my goodness.
With that shadow.
Misses basically everything except the ult. Big team fight. I think we only probably see this going in one direction here. Hippogriff dead. With Hippogriff dead, he's not immune to damage, as we confirmed a few times throughout this game. Is this gonna be game? Maybe? Do you push here 5v3? Do you go take an objective instead?
I think so. I think they just run it down their throats right now.
Okay, and you're just gonna walk into it. Well, that makes it easier. Rook, another sort of interesting decision there.
Flash
oh no,
there.
TJ! It was free. Okay, well, they're having fun. Spurg, did you hear that song playing in the background? Sounds a lot like a certain tune. Maybe something Scrapes? Forgot the name of it. But I think we're gonna go to game 3 on this one. Rudy
And
still
I've
hasn't
never
died.
been happy. This has been. This game was a thrashing, and the last game was a barn burner. And I cannot wait to see what we're gonna get in game 3.
Boy.
Who knows what could happen? These games have been wild.
I hope the chat is just laughing at Bully's prediction early on, because sort of proven wrong.
And Bully did say he never wins those. So
true.
If you followed his guidance, you did yourself a disservice, even though he told you not to.
Wow. That wasn't even close. That wasn't even close to close. It didn't feel like after those first few fights.
Dogpound had just full command of that game the entire time.
I know we don't give out, on game 2 MVPs, but Rudy's just doing super work. Microscopic Rick. He didn't die, and he's in one of the world's worst matchups. So
that he willfully entered into once again for the second game in a row.
This guy's insane. Why would he do this? But he's proving us why. He's showing us why he'd do it. He can win it. All right. I think everybody wants to listen to a tune, take a quick break, refill your drink, grab a quick snack, because you're probably getting hungry because you didn't think this series was going to 3 games. So we'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
And I was like,
Mr. Spurg, TCL audience, welcome back. We've got game 3 ahead of us. Wow. Spurg, you said you couldn't be happier. I'm right there with you. This is wild.
yeah, these games have not gone the way that I thought they would. In every game, it felt like in the first game, Riot HR felt like they had the better draft and the better comp from the beginning, and it took them a long time to really show that they did have that. And even in the second game, they pick nearly the exact same comp. Still looks like it's far and away better, as Bully said in the draft interview. And somehow the Dog Pound just manages to find a way to just get a massive gold lead and then just bulldoze over them.
I can't even think back to the moment where it turned. It was just a bunch of little things, tower takes, right? They're getting the map objectives, and that snowballed them into having a little more gold to throw at some items to win those key fights.
Yeah, I mean, all of the
all-around team
lanes
effort.
always had priority.
Right.
I've never seen anything like it. All 3 lanes always had priority. Jungler had priority. Bunny on that Shyvana obviously is able to easily duel out a Maokai. And without, the Jace's help or bot lane's help to secure kills, the Maokai's really not going to be able to do anything on his own.
I think I'm gonna guess some of the bans will certainly be the same. You're still banning the town, you're still banning some of these things, but I think we might see some different bans there. I think they might be afraid of seeing some different things. I would like to see a little more variety from the side, from Hippo's side over there. Maybe try something other than Gwen, but it worked there. So, well, first game, but not really sure why he just keeps running it. I'd like to see him with some variety. He's, I think, probably got the advantage in the matchups. The Scion ban, they are afraid of the Scion.
They
picking the Gwen.
just finally figured out that they just can't beat it. They cannot beat Tiny Rick's Scion, at least not in any significant manner. So they're just gonna get rid of it, and they're gonna make him play something else. I mean, Tiny Rick's got multiple champions in his pool. It's not like he's a one-trick pony by any means, but he is comfortable on that side.
Speaking of one-trick pony, there's the Maokai.
And I don't think I agree with it. I'd like to see Rook on something that gives him a little more agency, a little more ability to, really impact the early game beyond just, a WQ.
Just speaking of bans changing, things like that, with that Scion ban coming in, well, something had to slide out the door. And what slid out was the Echo. And that got picked up immediately.
Is that going to be in the jungle on Bunny? I know he does play that, but I don't know if I'll take mid has the potential to flex it as well.
I would bet it's flexible, but their intent is probably jungle, especially primarily from mid. We're being told, a little birdie in our ear. I think still potential for jungle just because they knew the Maokai pick was still there. They maybe think the Echo's got it, but interesting. We're continuing to see the same draft. Gwen, Jace, Maokai.
I think Riot HR has to change it up. I think this is stale. I don't know.
Classic Riot. Never changes the way they do things, huh?
And at this point, you have your jungle top and mid picked. The bot lane, in most, cases, in most team comps, is like pretty interchangeable. So we're gonna be seeing a lot more of the same from Riot HR. Hopefully they can get that scaling going a little earlier, not give up so much in the early game. As far as they gave up like 3 dragons in 20 minutes and 4 turrets.
I'm making a bunch of weird faces over here about the Cho'Gath pick. The Cho'Gath into Gwen somehow also feels horrible.
It does feel terrible.
Opting into it. You can't poke with the Q because it's literally immune.
But we've been wrong.
We've been wrong time after time.
All we've done is be wrong in this cast, Jbob. So I'm not even going to begin to try and explain why that matchup is bad for Cho'Gath. It clearly is. And it should be abused by Hippo. And hopefully we're actually going to see that happen here.
So we do see the respect bans coming back on Lemon, the Renata, Morg. So no changes on the bans from one side. Couple changes the other way, and a couple, I think, strange picks maybe?
And clearly Riot HR also thought that Echo was going to be focused for Bunny in the jungle. Because they did ban up that Syndra. Waiting for I'll take mid, so they weren't confident that it was going mid.
But they banned
either.
the Jarvan too. Yeah, they don't really know. Interesting. Last second Leona pick there. It worked before. Do it again.
Yeah, they're gonna run back the same bot lane. It had success there. Just so much CC, and now you're adding a Cho'Gath into the mix, which is maybe a little bit less CC than Scion.
Let's see it.
But he doesn't have to be right on top.
Let's see a change. All I want to see is a different pick. Do not. Okay, he's gonna pick the Zion. Lemon, take something different.
Okay, is this Lulu?
I wonder what it could be, guys. Why are you gonna run back the same comp? You just got smashed on.
Yeah, you just lost at like a 12,000 gold deficit. Maybe the champions they realized weren't the issue, and it was a player gap, maybe, and they just have to make better choices this game, and they felt confident that the comp wasn't the issue.
Oh Lord, well that's an interesting pick.
I hate that.
What in the world?
I absolutely hate that pick. I don't think it's gonna work with their team. I don't know what else to say. I think they needed some sort of peel. I don't think flat healing, being pumped into the Gwen and the Maokai is what they wanted there.
Oh goodness. We see the Graves jungle pick up. I think that makes a fair bit of sense. Just more pressure into that Maokai, and Graves just going and slapping down. Yeah, the Echo mid, as was possibly foretold by production. That Soraka is, you have to imagine, is just going to get trained over and over in the bot lane by the Varus Leona.
I think it's going to get abused so hard by a number of people. I mean, there's just a lot of AoE damage that's going out from the side of the Dog Pound, playing that red side. And Soraka's not going to be able to heal all that. And the Echo is just going to one-shot that Soraka and
my.
be fairly safe in doing so. And it's just very scary. I think I might have liked to see Emilio against some of these CC locks with the Varus, the Leona, to prevent all the damage coming out from like the Graves and the Cho'Gath while they're stunned up. But that's not what we got. We got a Soraka, which is a Lemon special. He is very efficient on the champion he plays, very safe, but also has a significant impact with what he's able to do as far as the healing, and the silences, and all of that. So it is a comfort pick for him, and we'll see if he's able to turn it into a W.
Speaking of turning it into a W, turn yourself into a W. Come join our chat here in the caster booth. Hop into LOL 1. We'll pull you up. As you can hear, some pretty strong opinions from Spurg and I on this draft. Wondering if the community is agreeing. You also have the opportunity now for the next 4 minutes or whatever it is right now to just spend all your channel points. Just give and donate your channel points to the people that vote the other way. Yeah, it's funny to watch how the community bets have changed over the course of the game, right? We saw Riot HR get the majority of the votes early on. That's not what I'm seeing right now from the community. And I don't think that's too big of a surprise based on the draft, based on how the fact that they're running it back from last game, and it wasn't even close to close.
I think chat has lost the faith. Because it seemed like they should have mollywopped them in game 1. And it took them a long time to really get going. They did get the W there, but and then in game 2, ran back essentially the same comp. It just got hit by a steamroller. Quite literally had no control over the game the entire time. And here they are for the 3rd time, essentially the same exact comp, but with notably, I think, a worse draft choice in the support. But yeah, and they've lost the faith, and I have as well. Like if these were my channel points I were putting on the line, I'm all in on the dog pound.
Yeah, and I mean, in fairness, the dog pound is showing a bit of a different draft this time. I think the Syndra was a big part of their success, able to push mid lane, get that damage onto Jace, make him waste a flash here and there. Graves, I will say, probably in that early game going to be a lot better than Shyvana was, but Cho'Gath, I guess it's going to be even less effective somehow than Sion was, but I shouldn't doubt Rick because he's been playing quite well into that matchup. So, yes, we see a pretty similar draft on one side, but 3 of the 5 are different on the other one. So it might not just be a run it back of the previous draft or the previous performance. I think it still could go either way. Hopefully everybody hasn't lost the faith. I'm looking at the bets. That's actually pretty close right now. So some of the faith has been brought back. People are down on their knees. They're praying. They think Riot HR, even though, careful, probably don't want to pray around there, but, they think they can maybe win it. And there is a chance, but those first 5 to 7 minutes, maybe, I think we'll probably be able to write the ending of that story right about then.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where I think the same thing that happened in game 2 is bound to happen in game 1, unless there's something that Riot HR can do differently in that early game. And I think it kind of is on the back of Rook Stout. I think he needs to be more active in the early stages of the game. I want him to flash W some folks. Even if he trades a flash, just get active, get out there, make people afraid that you could be there. They'll have to play a little safer. Then your laner is then in less danger because you've blown their lane opponent's flash. And I just want to see that out of Rook this game.
I agree. We talked about in the Rook victory how big of a deal he was. Some massive ults, some huge disruption. And he may as well not have even been in the last game. I couldn't tell you a play he made. So, got to get him back online. Predictions are wrapping up here shortly. Yes, probably do the stream delay. It's already even wrapped up. So, yeah, pretty split vote still. Spurg, I think you inspired some people with your reverse psychology and you brought back the faith.
I think people did hear me say I've never once won a Gamba. So, I'm 0 for 12. And I said I would have bet all my points on the dog pound. So, it seems to have worked, and I'm glad that somebody else is going to win points off of Riot HR here.
It's probably all a 200 IQ ploy. Spurg's gone all in. On the other side, he wanted to win some points, so he told you all to go that way. All right. Nothing crazy off the start. Same exact thing. Junglers both starting on bottom, giving Rook a nice leash, going down, picking up the Krugs after that. This feels like we're just watching a replay of last game, I think. Nothing creative and fun coming out. Rick is getting slapped down a little bit here early, like a lot early.
This is good. I like this out of Hippo here.
Yeah, this is what he should have been doing on Scion. Right? I don't know where that was this whole time. So I guess we got Corrupting Pot on the Cho'Gath, so we'll be able to heal it up a little bit. Corrupting Pot's an interesting choice.
That sustain might end up being a problem for Gwent. With that Cho'Gath innate sustain that he has.
Sure. In the past.
And he might just be able to take the abuse and dish some back each time, and because of that Corrupting Pot, end up, in a lane stalemate type situation where neither can really go in or deny farm because they're both low.
Yeah, Rick he has gotten a ton of HP back from that Corrupting Pot. Oh, Hippogriff does hit 3. So we'll put some good damage back into Rick, but Rick with the Corrupting Pot and the passive regen on the CS does stay healthy enough. We do see Hippogriff still again running Ignite TP, no flash, so is a major kill threat to Rick still early on.
Yeah, and I think the E from Lemon here, that silence is going to be pivotal in them not just inting kills in the early game. I mean, he's got to save that. He's got to save that Soraka silence for every time that Zenith blade is landed by that Leona.
You hate to see the CS down there, but unlucky. I'll take mid. Just gets a little poke down. Q's coming back. Style points for the Ying back to the wave. The Echo is putting maybe even actually more pressure than the Cinder did on the Jace. So maybe
the early game kill potential is certainly there with the Echo. I mean, he's got Electrocute again. He's just had some scary picks from I'll take mid so far this series. If I were Talon, if I were a mid player, any mid player against I'll take mid in this series, I'd be sweating.
And shout out to Speedy Wife Dito. She's been in the chat, repping Speedy, saying it's gonna go the other way. And so far, it has. Speedy's up a little bit of CS. They've been safe. No big dives onto the Soraka, anything like that. Every game is 50-50, I suppose. I don't know. I think if they don't get those early kills on the Soraka Xayah, they may have a rough time later on.
Yeah, and I mean, both full clears done by junglers here. First backs out, no ganks yet.
Speaking of ganks, I don't know if you call this a gank. Talon mid getting a little over aggressive. Nice flash over the wall to his team. Rooks, he should fight this. Get in there, folks. Okay, bot lane coming to
They're
join
fighting
the
on two fronts here, but they do have to be
This is
careful.
not good. Okay, here we do see Leona dive. A lot of split damage going on. Rook does get the first kill, but gets picked up after. Both teams not really sure if they win this exchange. I'll take mid has no mana. TJ, you're in trouble, bud. What? Oh my goodness, Talon mid is dead. TJ is somehow still alive. Speedy, I think, is going to clean up TJ. Lemon probably going to go down here.
Lemon's got flash. He should start moving towards TJ, but
Speedy, just walk away, bud. Yeah.
Had Lemon kind of just moved down and used that flash like out of that pit towards Speedy, I think he would have been okay, but it seemed like he was just kind of moving in the wrong direction initially and then got stuck there.
Yeah, I don't think that fight there swings anything in any major direction. Pretty even all around. Speedy's in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't have his flash. Bunny gets some good damage down. I think he's toast. Little shotgun reload.
Mine is just free, and that's what you don't want. Early kills on a Graves.
Ooh.
That feels really good if you're the Graves. If he's going Gourd Drinker, he's going to be very hard to kill, and he's going to be doing quite a lot of damage.
They're going to crash the wave. Speedy's going to miss some more CS, and unfortunately, I'm afraid they're going to do what I said, and they're going to start getting behind against the Varus Leona, which is no good.
Yeah, and Graves has got the red jungle item here, which makes me think he may go a lethality, potentially, if he's trying to go for a big burst type play. But he does have that pickaxe, could build into a variety of things, even the gore drinker, so we'll see what happens there. I would love if he went lethality. I want to see some graceful spots.
So they do secure the first Drake. Not a big surprise. We saw their Drake dominance last game, taking the neutral objectives, taking the things on the map. Next step, if they're going to repeat the same game plan, start taking towers, at least getting some big plates. So wouldn't be surprised to see some of that happen here in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, and everything's looking fairly even. I mean, the Echo is still scary. He's got that alternator.
Look at this setup from Rook. What are you hoping for here, sir? You're on a ward.
Well, he wasn't on the ward initially, so he might have something. Oh, once again.
Huge
Rick
flash
with a
from Rick.
great flash again on the Maokai Q. I think Rook's maybe telegraphing that a bit much, you know, might hold it or start with the W.
Yeah. Yeah, suggested that'd be a maybe. He lives. Hopefully doesn't. Oh no. Jesus. I'm sorry, Spurg. I split the caster curse. I said he was safe right as we cut to him and he's dead. Why did he go back in? Huh.
His wave was in a bad spot. Maybe he was just trying to get it pushed so he could back, but ends up trading his life for it. Obviously, Hippo still had that ignite. Made it pretty easy for him. He's got those E dashes. Can't really get away if he's got no flash anymore.
So the Riot HR department, enjoyers and predictors, you love to see that. That's sort of going back to game one. The Gwen is the win condition still, I think, and giving them that kill is not great. They are, for maybe the first time, we're gonna see a Herald going the other way. Are they just gonna back? They're gonna back off, I think.
I certainly hope they don't. What is?
Hello? Help him out, Town? Okay.
Okay, all right. It's not the cleanest Rift take we've seen, Rift Herald take we've seen, but Rook does secure it, which is good. Like the more active Rook is in the early game, I think the better off Riot HR is going to be, and you know, taking another objective off the map from Bunny is always good.
Bunny's the king of the Herald. We're seeing the kings. We're seeing a dive. I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. They spot it out early. They don't get anything for it. I'll think Min's going to maybe miss some CS in the middle. Actually, kind of crashed the wave. He should be okay. Okay. Riot HR department. Let's see it. Let's see you get some plate gold. I think you probably want to use the Herald top just to get Hippo some more money. Okay, they're going in on Rick again. Roots him while he's rooted, knocks him away. He doesn't have flash. He's definitely dead. More money for Hippogriff. All right, here's where you do it. You get a couple plates, then you drop the Herald. Let's see it. Come on. Show me. Don't just drop it immediately. No TP on show either.
Got a full wave coming in too. Like this could end up being a first turret unless Bunny can make something happen here. Clear that wave somehow.
He'll clear the wave. Maybe slightly early on the Herald, but better than before. We'll take it. Celebrate the small victories.
Hippo stays behind to make sure he grabs that gold there too.
Yeah, does get a plate or two there. I'll take mid, just absolutely flashing the mastery. Doesn't care, even though he's not really that far ahead in the lane, but does it for fun. It is at least pushing in the lane, which is probably wants to happen when you're the Echo, but still.
Even after those plates, Riot, Dog Pound still squeaking out a little bit of a gold lead, a few hundred gold still in favor of Dog Pound, which is surprising, you know, given the fact that they just gave up 2 plates there.
Yeah, Hippo's got 1,200 gold lead on his counterpart already, which is pretty absurd. Okay, they're in trouble. Speedy, you have cleanse, you have flash, you should be fine.
He's got the ult. This should be a trade.
Just run away, maybe.
Not able to land those feathers, unfortunately. You know, had he gone for the huge play, I think he trades that back. You know, TJ had already flashed. I think you flash on top of TJ, suck all those feathers in, and just one-shot him.
Just suck them in and secure the kill. I agree. But playing a little safe. It's just not necessary to play safe there. You've got help. TJ's flash is still down. We're looking a little jungle action in the bot lane. And probably not gonna become of anything. Okay.
Yeah, they don't know Bunny's there. They're gonna
They do
quickly
now.
find him now.
They're gonna go in. They're confident. They're going in. Speedy's going in. They're gonna try to. They're gonna get that first kill. They're gonna get a second kill. Their whole team is here. Rudy probably makes it out. TJ, I cannot say the same for Speedy. Please don't get poked. Okay. Oh, we see a flash W onto a buff Leona. Okay, they knew it. They knew all along it was fine.
Riot HR goes
3 for
big.
nothing.
Goes
3 for
big.
nothing.
The rotations, the macro there, very, very good. And, you know, it's all off the back of that, you know, that aggressive engage by TJ and Rudy, where they didn't get anything. Like, ults and flashes used, and they weren't able to secure the kill because, you know, it's a Xayah with a Soraka. Like, they're going to be really tough to kill.
Couple plates getting picked up here as a little consolation prize. Echo couldn't join the fight like the entire other team could. But is he in trouble here? Maybe. I think Cho's coming to help. Maybe a surprise turn kill here. Okay. Cho doesn't have an ult. I would be careful there, Mr. Echo.
Yeah, Echo's still sitting on the ult there, so he's not in too much danger, but you know, like, could still die. I don't know, and there's no really reason for him to stick around much longer.
TJ and Rudy are going to pick up 2 or 3 plates here. I don't think they're going to be able to finish it. Tower too thick. But just to cast our gaze back up to the top lane. 3-0. Got that 300 gold bounty. The gold diff continues to grow. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 1600. I'll take mid. Wants to kill. I think Talon's going to sneak away. Rudy just kind of hanging out at a distance. This might be mid tower. Ah, probably not. Looks like Rook might come and clear the wave, but massive pressure here in the mid lane from that Echo.
Yeah, as I've said numerous times, the man is spooky on these high damage, whether AP or AD assassins.
So Rook does get the Echo ult, so some benefit there from his time in mid lane. But he's just gonna back anyway and have to cool down a bit by the time he gets back to lane. So not a huge win. Microscopic Rick just enjoying himself in the top lane, trying to get some free farm. Hippo goes and spends the money a little bit more and just continues the item advantage. Rick is likely to just continue to keep dying, I have to imagine, unless they get creative and start entering a few more team fights. The 1v1 is not in Cho's favor. Does get the heart steal though, making it a little bit thicker. I think that makes sense, but
yeah, I think Riot HR here needs to focus on the top side of the map. They need to push that Hippo advantage that they have at this point. I think Hippo could 2v1 Rick and Bunny if he plays it correctly, and with some help from Rook Stout, you know, maybe pick up a kill, grab that next Herald, and start, you know, demolishing some of these structures.
You see the Xayah ult there. I guess a little more vulnerable. Still has the cleanse. Flash coming up in a little bit. But trying that is so conservative. Echo is taking a ton of damage here. It looks to be safe. Graves shows up at just the right time. You better watch out there, Mr. Echo. Still has his flash. Graves showing up saying, "Get out of here, bud. I want this free CS." And the trend, they're gonna finally go take the Herald again. Rudy just chasing him down, finishing the tower. Big money for TJ.
First turret on TJ too there. I mean, he's got that first item completed. You know, probably gonna work on what is this, a Ginsu's you get on Varus? I don't know. It's been a whole season since I was in AD. I'm not sure, but with all that gold, I mean, pretty significant gold lead on TJ. You know, despite, you know, only being 1-2-1. He's got a bunch of CS up on Speedy and a full first turret.
Feels like the tale of 2 lanes, right? It feels like we've got Hippo doing his absolute darndest top, and TJ doing the same thing in bot. And who's got the bigger backpack is the question right now. I think I'd have to put my money on Hippo. Bizarrely, even after that last game where he wasn't really impactful at all. But so far this game, he's just been taking it to the Cho, getting the money where he can.
And I mean, the Cho's gonna start stacking that Heartsteel. But he's not gonna have a very easy time doing it. Like really, against Hippo in lane, it's gonna be tough for him to stack that unless Hippo allows him to. And I mean, in team fights, Cho has a tough time getting in melee range.
And speaking of stacking, Cho does have 6 stacks of the ult. They are all on minions. Hasn't secured anything on a champion or any objectives. So I would have. He's getting a little thick through his multiple mechanisms, but I'm worried that being your tanky boy self as Cho here isn't going to be enough when Quinn just dives maybe the Varus and wins that. Who's going to be more impactful to their team? Here's TJ, more money for him.
Yeah, right now the entire team fight of Dogpound is going to be trying to protect TJ with that gold advantage he has and that item advantage, while also
what is going on here?
I'll take mid getting a kill.
So we've got the Drake going on while their mid lane is getting pushed, but to no effect. This feels like a bit of a misplay to just get this Drake up. I would have liked to
Rook got so lucky there. Very, very early smite. Probably thought he had the 1200 smite upgrade, and he's still 3 camps away from that.
I'll take mid in big danger. Has ult, has flash. Probably wants to use one of those here at some point. There's one of them. Flashes to his death, I believe. After mastery spamming. Never love to see that, or maybe you do. There's no way he just walks away, right? Okay.
Rook was being a good guy trying to give that over, but he made the right call there at the end.
Right, HR. Looking pretty strong, except Drake not sure. Bunny's okay. Bunny's alright.
Bunny just playing with fire down there, just getting his flash used for nothing.
Bunny, do not stay past this wave, my friend. You will not live. He's got it back. Okay. Gwen. I'm surprised Gwen doesn't have another completed item yet, just based on the amount of gold, but it's got to be just hilariously close. Yeah, wow. Up just an astronomical amount of money. Goodness gracious. What, like 1,800, something like that? So
yeah, I mean, still, Rick has a significant amount of CS, despite that. He's not really getting pushed out of lane. He's got the 2 deaths under his belt, but still only 15 CS behind.
I think Gwen's looking for a solo bolo here, hanging out in the bush. Let's see if we can get a peek up there. Yeah, looking for a little solo bolo. Rick does have the ult. I think Rick thinks he okay. Thought he was gonna go more all in. He does need to be careful. Rick can live for a while, and he's got some teammates on the top side. Just gives him the free Heartsteel stack like Spurg on ARAM. Loves it. I don't know why he would have given it so easily, but whatever.
You see that gold come up when you hit a CS, and you just can't give any of that up.
Yeah, the range minions, it'd be a real shame.
That's 14 gold that you'll never get back if you let it go.
We might see a fight here. Looks like they're closing down. You can see Rick does have ult for a big maybe finish on Hippo here. They gotta be pumping damage into Hippo as much as they can. He's gonna big Rick ult. There it is. Secures the kill. Gets the stack. Rook's out in danger. TJ whiffs the ult like absolutely just no reason. Thought it was a windmill. Wanted to see it whiff. And they're gonna take Baron off of that. Oh,
this is a very risky Baron. Okay, Rick is coming down, so it's not as bad, but like that Baron's gonna lower the resistances, and that Jace is just gonna fire all cute.
And Cho does not have the ult to help secure it. They should just turn and fight. This is a coin flip win. Okay. Big Zaya's done. Okay.
Oh, didn't have the E up apparently. That was about to be a very good feather pull.
And now they're just gonna run at. Oh, Speedy. Oh, I've been there, bud. The TP. Not again. Another. Oh, goodness. Why? Lemon, just leave your buddy. We'll help him.
Unfortunately, there, Riot HR just slowly feeding kills into the team. I think they just kind of needed to stay at a distance, get what damage they could on them while they're hitting the Baron, and maybe something happens. But they just went way too deep there.
The dog pound turning it around. Absolutely out of nowhere. I guess maybe a missed position. Rook, maybe. Production telling us, which I don't even believe these numbers because they don't sound real. an 8K gold swing from those kills. Okay, Box in chat saying 4, I believe. Box, sorry, Sword. But that's massive. Holy cow, off of one fight. And let's see what they can do with the Baron. Maybe even get some more.
I mean, I could see 8K being the combination of those two fights.
Sure.
You know, of the initial gank onto Rook and Hippo, and then Hippo with the dive.
Trying to go in on Speedy here. No Cho does have the ult. Rook's coming in from the side. They're looking for a huge fight here. Coming in from behind, Rook locks him down, knocks him forward. TJ's in a bad spot. Bunny's almost dead. Goodbye, TJ. Speedy just continues to pump the damage. This game is so back and forth. I think I'm on the playground doing teeter-totter. Oh my goodness, Rudy. What are you doing going in? You're just dead again.
Huge play by Riot, just taking advantage of the fact that Echo has no teleport. He's down pushing the turret bot lane.
Can we
Picking up
just
4 kills for free.
Let's all pause. Look at the gold difference. Pull it back up. Look at the Xayah Varus gold difference. I'll let you do the math, but that is a crap load. It doesn't matter. He still gets in the speed. He still gets in there and does a ton of damage, even though he's 5K behind. Even though I said I wouldn't do the math for you. Am I bad?
It's absurd to me.
How is that possible?
How is that? A Maokai has 1,300 more gold than his AD carry. It's great. And Speedy's only died twice. It's not like he's been dead the whole game. It's not like he's feeding. He just hasn't been able to secure like all of the gold that TJ has. I don't even know where TJ's getting the gold. I mean, we did see
the bounty.
There were 5 plates and a first turret. TJ also got first blood, and he's up 50 CS. Apparently that adds up to 4,500 5K gold.
That's wild. I mean, they still feel like the stronger team, but they're down 3 Drakes to 1. I'll take mid needs to, I think, assert a little more dominance here and try to get his team back, and just sit in bot lane and farm it away for funsies isn't going to be what happens, especially if Rook shows up and just wants to 1v1 you.
Yeah, and I mean, prior to that fight, the Dogpound had gone up about 7K gold. 6,500, 7K gold. They've narrowed that gap to 5K, even after that 4-man wipe, because Echo took 2 turrets bot, kind of helped to really offset that loss.
Yeah, it's got to be. We've been talking about win conditions. We've said TJ a lot. I'll take mid. I think it's got to be the difference. Of course, TJ's going to pump out a ton of damage, but I think I'll take mid's. Had the tempo over Talon here. Has the items, just took a bunch of turrets. Got to convert that into a couple kills.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just been a lot of like sloppy macro play, I think. People haven't been taking advantage of the lane states they've been creating for themselves, and safely getting gold. It's been a lot of just, oh, there's a fight, and now it's a full team fight, and we won, so I guess we'll go take something.
We're seeing the ARAM resume, I think. I think we're going to get a bunch of folks in the bot lane here. So they've got the turret down. They really want that inhib. Bunny starting to fight. Hippo, here comes the run it down thing that we talked about. Hippo playing pretty aggressively here. Gets some good damage out with the ult. I'll take mid. Going for the Soraka. This is what we talked about. And he's going to ult back to safety. Soraka tanky enough to survive the Echo all in. That ain't good news.
That's pretty much going to squash any chance that I think Dogpound had of taking a winning fight there. I mean, without that.
Rook's going in, flash W, slaps the ground, makes him fly backwards. Rook's in trouble, Rook is down, sitting in the Echo stun, Soraka ult comes out. Cho finishes off Hippo, that could be huge. The big Xayah ult catches absolutely no one. Xayah's still mega in trouble, does cleanse the stun, walks right into the ult. Goodbye, Xayah. Microscopic Brick says, I would like to eat a Soraka today, and we'll do that right there.
Yeah. If there's one word to describe that team fight, it would absolutely be regret from Rookstead on that flash W. He had the right idea. Execution, his team just was not close enough. He was dead before they ever got it.
I think he was tuned in, Spurg. He heard you requesting more flash W's, and he said, I will give it to you, buddy. He's getting in there, he's scrapping with him, he's doing it again, he's ulting, it's not going to mean anything, he just dies when you think they were going to back off anyway. Hippo's gonna 1v4, Gwen is immune, gets the shutdown gold. wants to get that shutdown gold from Varus as well. Leona gives it up, and I don't think Varus is going to make it. They've got the little gate, makes him run a little quicker. We see the TP behind. Big commitment. Talon does secure the shutdown.
It just slides back
happening?
the other way. The macro play is just not there today for the Dog Pound. They're doing everything right up until it comes time to make the choice of what's next. And every single time, they're doing it wrong. They're getting caught on the backside of all
Speaking
of
of getting
these
caught on the
advantages.
backside, goodbye, Speedy. Caught by I'll take mid.
And that's just a standard Echo blow up there. Feels real bad to be Speedy in that situation. You know, your ult still is 15 seconds on CD. Flashes down and still, yeah, kind of just dead walking into that.
Speedy wife Dito's gonna beat him up tonight, I think, for walking alone like that. You need friends. Everybody needs friends. And you definitely need friends when you're the AD, when you're walking through a blind jungle.
I think he's just trying to pump that ward score up. You know, he's trying to make up for the lack of warding that they're seeing, just because the teams are always dead. It seems like they're just always fighting. There's not even time to drop wards.
Oof, yeah, agreed. Speedy does have his second item complete, so that will make him a little more valuable. But we saw he could be effective even when he was down double the gold. So, you know, one
It's
misposition
crazy.
is
He's
gonna
still
swing it.
almost an item and a half down on TJ. I should say almost 2 items. I think TJ is about to build an IE here. Which is incredible. I mean, yes, I understand. You know, the wits end and the Ginsus aren't as expensive as, you know, the standard AD items. Two full items to 4 when that IE hits for TJ. That's gonna feel very bad for Team Riot.
So they do delay the soul, right? We get the second Drake on the other side now, extending the game a little bit. So well done there. I don't think Rick picked the stack up off of that Drake. Would have been nice to see that there. Speedy trying to get a little gold. Said, I know there's 3 of us here, but can I take it, please? I'm so far behind. I need some gold. I need some items. They give it to him. But, boy, what is this as a team? 5.5 or so K gold diff. Feels like it should be so much more, but I guess it's still anybody's game. It feels like it shouldn't be Ruby.
And that entire gold lead is all on TJ, which kind of might work for Riot HR's benefit if they can just lock that man up and get him dead.
So they get some cooldowns from Hippo there, get his ult. I think they still want to scrap. Rick maybe looking to sneak behind here. Echo, yeah, I'll take mid up, even though his name's mid. He's in the top lane. Just pushing, just enjoying life up there. Getting some gold. Wants to get some gold so we can finish off another Xayah. You know, randomly walking.
I think he's making the right choice there. I mean, he's got the TP. You push out this wave, you pressure the map. It's almost impossible for them to actually gank him.
Echo does not have TP, so he's going to have to walk over. But they're doing a ton of damage. Cho just goes zone them off, my friend. Oh, of course, you want to secure it. There it is.
Echo has an incredible flank here if he turns around.
He also has an incredible, I'm getting 3v1 if you want. I think he's still dead. He's got some tricks up his sleeve, but toast. That was
questionable there. You knew your whole team was at Baron and you had no vision of the enemies. Yet you still just switch off the turret. And I get it kills the turret, so potentially still worth. But
that Maokai ult is something to be desired. Not sure what well, he's just still going. He's gonna keep going, and somehow it's gonna work.
They saw Echoes down, and they're just running at him.
Bunny's in trouble in the back. Bunny's dead. Oh, TJ. Oh, does he sneak away? No. TJ,
huge damage from Hippo. Hippo just cleaning up the back.
Hippo can kill TJ here. Oh, nope. Oh, the Leona E over the wall is huge from Rudy. Lemon walks away because Soraka is a completely useless champion. Wow. Okay.
Soraka's not completely useless. Like, yeah, we kind of dogged the pick. But...
Are they going for the end? They're going for the end. That makes sense. Well, yeah, I guess. He doesn't. Oh, he does have ult. He's dead.
He's dead. He's dead.
Spurg. I'm just gonna be quiet. I don't know what is going on.
And him even spawn, even if he lives, he doesn't get it. That's it's tragic. Absolutely tragic.
Is ridiculous, and I'm happy we're all here to watch this together. Lemon is fine, and Rudy's dead. This game, what is happening? TJ, you're dead as well. Who's gonna get the money from it? Speedy gets it. Speedy wipes Ito.
Dude,
Very
shut
happy
down
to
for
see
Speedy.
him pick up some money. Absolutely. And
This is
the
the
gold
most
dip,
TCL game of League of Legends I've ever witnessed in my life. You
Yeah,
have no
people-
idea what's gonna happen. The team with 10,000 gold lead can't win. This is TCL.
Wow.
This is why we're all here.
All right. If I hadn't shown you any of the moments before this, right where we're at, Spurg, and you came into this game stage, who are you putting your money on? What are you thinking?
I mean, at this point, I would feel inspired if I were Riot HR. And if I'm Dogpound, I'm pissed that we haven't won yet.
Yeah. Gwen taking a bunch of damage, but dishing it back out. Gets topped off from Truck. I think they need to watch out. Mr. Cho'Gath. Oh, huge Echo stun.
Big stun on Echo.
Big stun comboed with the Cho knock up. I think you just walk away, lick your wounds, and say, oops, sorry. Didn't really mean to fight there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, and this Gwen just getting scarier and scarier every item that Hippo gets. As you can see, it's like just standing in there killing people. I mean, he won that last team fight for him. Well, I should say tried to win it. Ended up tying to the Bears with the help from Leona. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if I had seen nothing prior to this moment in the game, I think I would still take Riot HR.
Yeah, so we're seeing Drake come up here in about 30 seconds, just under it, in fact. Everybody backing, resetting, getting some wards, ready to set up some vision. What is happening in bot lane right now? Are they setting up the world's strangest gank? Okay, I think they were looking for maybe an echo catch, but they're not going to get it. Cho'Gath pushing top, does have TP. Okay, big damage on a bunny. Hippo just does not care. I think he's going to keep chasing, gets knocked away. No avail. Nobody. I'll take mid, barely makes it out. Cho'Gath is TP'd in, looking out, is slapping people like his life depends on it. TJ is going to go down.
Of Echo and TJ here.
Well, TJ's dead, so that's fine. The Echo still going to do a lot of damage. Rick does not have his ult, but doesn't care because he has trash.
Huge play by
God.
Speedy.
Speedy! Joe, I think, escapes here? Yeah, but do they
That's exactly the play that Speedy should have made earlier in the game. Or was that last game? I don't even remember. All the champions are the same. When I said that he should pull the feathers and flash on top of them, that's essentially what he did there, just using his Gale Force.
They're gonna get the soul. What in the world is happening? Wow. That's a pretty big soul, I think, as well. TJ, I guess they needed more from him. He got surrounded by a couple of enemies and just went down. Not sure if he had his heal then, probably wouldn't have mattered. He was getting dogpiled. Speaking
You
of
know,
dog
and
pound.
in sports, the same way as in esports, momentum and having PMA, a positive mental attitude, gets you everywhere. If I were Riot HR 20 minutes ago in this game, I would have felt absolutely defeated. I would be FFing at 15 if this were solo queue. But they stuck together. They've been able to turn things around. There's been some tosses by the side of the dog pound potentially. But right now, you know, Riot HR is right back in it. The gold lead is still there for the dog pound. They're still up that 6K gold, but the longer the game goes, the less impactful that amount of gold is.
I mean, coming from the two-time, I think we've seen just a ton of violence, speed, momentum, and certainly disrespect. So I can't believe. TJ looking for a little bait here? What is happening? Brooks, okay. They are thinking they know something the opponents don't. Cho'Gath maybe going for a bait here.
Oh, I don't know if Rook wants this.
Brooks, yeah, well, his team's got position to come around.
Yeah, they can't really flash over. It's too risky for TJ to be doing that.
Cho'Gath is just wildly tanky. We do have the Echo TP coming in behind. Oh, goodness. I'm very afraid for anyone that the Echo dies on. Cho'Gath doesn't die.
Good silence coming out.
Here. Does get the finish on Rook Stout. I'll take mid going in. Tries to catch Speedy. Does get onto Speedy, but has to ult away. Big Jace coming over the top of the hammer. Hippogriff needs to run. Dodges the ult from Graves. TJ is, oh goodness. This is, oh my, this could go either way. 3 and 4 up. Baron, I think you're afraid if you're either team to try to start this Baron.
Overall, well played by excellent. Kind of well played by both teams, although the dog pound did get a bit outplayed on the maneuvering there. You know, Tiny Rick had the right idea, cut off the Maokai, you know, get the free one. But Maokai just slowed him up perpetually, and the rest of the team was just able to collapse. And although it took them
90 seconds to kill that Cho'Gath. Eventually he did go down, and they were also able to clean up Rudy.
And Cho did get the stack from his ult before he died onto Rook, so even getting more and more tanky. 724 stacks on that Heartsteel. You love to see it. I'd like to see it go 4-digit if we can this game. He's going.
Cho'Gath's
so
sitting at a cool 7,000 HP currently, with over 300 armor. So he is pretty tanky. He's still gonna get chunked out by Hippo, but it's still even gonna take Hippo quite a long time to bring that man down.
I just simply can't believe what we're seeing. I'm happy we're here, Spurg. This is game of the season so far, if you ask me. Maybe not in terms of the cleanest League of Legends, but if you're here for the entertainment, for the fun, you're here.
This has been the most exciting series I have watched yet this season. Game 2 was a stomp, but Game 1 and 3, these have been absolutely perfect TCL games. Just a sloppy bloodbath.
I think I still favor the Cho going into the Baron, right, to help to secure it, but I'm not sure either team's really super confident wanting to take the fight. We did see Echo looking for maybe a one-shot here on the Xayah. Oh my goodness, they have not checked that. Oh goodness. Goes into the Soraka. Probably gonna have to all back on the Hippo. Hippo's in big trouble. Probably, oh my gosh.
So much damage on Hippo though.
Bunny lives. Cho'Gath is still a wall for his team. Not taking a lot of damage. Bunny is still alive. Looks out is gonna go down. Talon's gonna go back to his base because
Hippo
he dodged all.
pumped out so much damage on at the end of his life there as he got taken down by I'll take mid and Bunny, but they just weren't able to connect any of those targets. And Cho'Gath is just too thick, too big. They cannot get around him.
Could they have ended there on a push with the instead of going Baron?
You know, at this point, I would advise the Dog Pound to take the safe play again and again. Just back, spend that gold, just walk it down, go either 5 mid or 1-4, and just use the advantage you created for yourself, and don't stay too long after you do that.
So an interesting pickup. We see Hippo picking up a stopwatch. I guess he just runs in too much and too deep and realizes he's gonna need it. Maybe.
Yeah, and I mean his last item is gonna be a Zanya's probably, and obviously he needs that stopwatch anyway, and it's always the best thing to buy if you're buying a Zanya. Oh, I should say typically it's always the best thing to buy if you're buying a Zanya for GA.
Sure.
An item like that can turn a fight.
And all that. Sure, absolutely. Cho is going to be caught out, but we have seen this story before. Cho takes 74 years to be killed, and he's in fact just winning. Okay, maybe not winning the fight anymore. Cho does flash away from Maokai, I guess. A little afraid. Pump from Maokai into a Cho ult.
So Hippo's got it back here. Zaya's trying to slow him down, but I'll take mid is pushing to end the game. So Hippo made the smart play, just ran off. He's trying to back.
Cho does still have the ult. I'll take mid ult. Oh goodness. Okay, I think Echo's dead. Huge play from Speedy to stay alive.
I don't know if it's gonna be enough.
I think it's still 4-on-4 here. I think they can make this fight. Boy, the team comms would be interesting to hear right now what they're talking about. They lost a ton of their damage with Echo going down. Bunny's getting engaged on Hippogriff. There you go. Use that stopwatch. You bought it for a reason. Okay, that might be.
Yep, TJ and Graves just doing too much damage.
Oh my goodness, the Cho'Gath ult just eats him for days. TJ misses the Q again because it doesn't matter. And that's it. Holy moly.
And that's gonna be it.
Sort of anticlimactic end, but
Dog Pound. What a slobber knocker of a series.
Oh goodness. I hope it's actually ends. Okay, good to see. Wow.
I'm in awe.
Even.
I am absolutely in awe. I don't know what I just witnessed. They won. The Dog Pound won. And it was a great series to watch, though.
Spurg. Oh my goodness. Here we are. End of one of the most absolutely entertaining series, certainly this season, maybe in a couple seasons. Who are you going to tip in the direction of MVP here? This. I've never felt like there's a harder MVP discussion than this one.
Oh God, it's tough. It's tough. You know, I was thinking, um, I guess my initial guess would be I'll take mid.
Yeah.
And but if it's not, I'll take mid. I think it has to be Rick. It has to be Rick.
I want to give it to Rick. The man played 3 horrible matchups and
And somehow
mattered in every game.
succeeded in all of those. You know, Hippo was obviously able to pick up what he needed, like, but I don't know, like Rick was unkillable in all the games and super impactful in those just Islander style top lane tank roles. I thought he played great. I think he had the best series of the season for him.
I agree. So I think we'll give it to Rick. See if we can slide him in here. And Mr. Tiniest Rickus.
What's up?
First of all, you've been nominated with the All-State MVP award.
Hey,
I made
yeah,
it up.
that's a
I made yeah, that's not true. But tell us a little bit first of all about how you feel about Game 3, and then I want to hear about your picks across the series.
well, game 3, yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know how to explain what happened in game 3 because there was a lot that happened and a lot of things went wrong. We got a little cocky and we were doing things that we shouldn't have been doing. But laning against Gwen in general is awful and I hate that champion. So luckily when I was playing Sion, it didn't seem that bad. And that's why I was comfortable with picking Sion, but then they banned that away from me, and my next most comfortable pick was Cho'Gath, so I just had to go with that. But yeah, she bullied the crap out of me in
Which
top
both
lane.
feel like terrible matchups. That's why we couldn't believe you picked the Scion
picked into
in
it
there
every
again.
time.
But although we didn't see you having the difficulty that we expected, like I mean, even on both the Scion and the Cho'Gath, you still hung in there in CS. You know, a couple deaths here and there, but like nothing too crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of credit to Hippogriff because he is an oppressive lane partner, so he was definitely giving me the business. But yeah, I play so much Scion and Cho'Gath that I just had to go with comfort picks. I haven't really been able to play a lot of Cho'Gath and Scion in this whole league or this whole season, so it felt good to finally get some Scion games in, some solid Scion games in.
Yeah, and I mean, you were unkillable in all 3 games, especially that game 3. Even against that Gwen with all that true damage and percent health damage and what she does, you were still unkillable.
I appreciated that because I feel like I've been struggling a lot this season, but I like to blame tax season whatever, but tax season's over now and all of a sudden I have a good game, so maybe that's all it takes is not have to worry about taxes anymore.
You were just waiting for your interest rate to build up throughout the season. And
Yeah.
here you are, and you've cashed it in.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say. But yeah, I mean, credit to my team. Everybody played really well. Rudy played really well. TJ obviously is playing well. I'll take mid. Was doing really well. Allocating pressure around the map on that game 3, that was really helpful. And then, of course, Bunny getting banned out, but still coming in the clutch with some back pocket picks that I wasn't even expecting the Shyvana pick. That came out of nowhere, in my opinion, but it worked out really well.
Yeah, and I mean, and we, as in Jbob and I, the casters, as well as all of the chat, need to thank you guys for the most entertaining series of the season. And I don't know if we're gonna see one that's more entertaining than that one was.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and yeah, I appreciate you guys casting it. And I did like this series a lot. It was fun. I felt comfortable, which I don't normally feel comfortable when I'm playing, but I felt comfortable today, so that was good.
Hearing you say you felt comfortable, I just can't imagine how any human being could be comfortable in the middle of that game 3 where it was so back and forth. But was there even a moment of doubt in that game 3 where you thought, "Oh no, we might lose this," or even when there was a couple missteps, you knew you would pick it back up and finish it off?
Yeah, I do think that there was some points where I was starting to get worried, especially when they got the Dragon Soul, and then I think there was a play where they almost aced us, and I think that they could have taken Baron off of that, but for whatever reason they didn't. Maybe they couldn't have. I don't know. It seemed like they could have. But at that point in the game, I was like, oh no, this is actually going to be a throw. But I mean, because they had bounties on the turrets and stuff too, and they were able to get those. And I didn't realize how far ahead we were. I guess we were ahead in gold because they got the bounties. But it was a good series, all in all.
Yeah, and I think I've got interesting news, which is I think you're gonna replay the same team in playoffs. I think.
Oh, is that right?
In
Oh,
week
could be
one,
wrong.
yeah. That's what it looks like to be shaping up.
So
According to the Foldy sheet.
interesting. Okay. Okay. Wait. So then, does that means that they're in last place? Because I thought.
no. I don't know. Maybe Sword's lying to us in production, but that's what we were informed of. Yeah, I don't think that's right. So
Well, I would trust Sword because he
I
seems to
agree.
know his shit. Or sorry, excuse my language. He knows his stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 1 shekel to A-Barn for that. But
Yeah,
not a
Sword is
problem.
wrong. Sword is wrong. So yeah, that's all right. All right. Anything final you want to say about your team, about your league, about whatever, before we let you go and before we wrap up the cast?
Well, I just credit to the enemy team. I thought they all played really well. And then I guess just credit to my team too. It was a good series. Thanks for casting and thanks for selecting me for MVP. I am honored for this accomplishment. So yeah, that's about it.
You earned it, bub.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Have a good night, fellas.
All right. Spurg, any final thoughts?
I felt like I needed to say we dogged it so much at the beginning of that game 3. The Soraka was not that bad. The silence was actually incredibly useful. The silence into the root. So I did want to throw that out there. That I still don't like it, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and sometimes that silence is just one of those spells that it doesn't jump out at you, right? It just sneaks in there as being valuable. And we did see it get used to good effect, but it wasn't enough. Wasn't enough tonight. So with that, we're gonna wrap up the absolute craziest series, certainly of this season, of this week. It's maybe only been, the first one, but whatever. I think we're gonna sign off. With that, I'm Jbob. Spurg, thank you. And in the production truck, Sword, even though you tried to lie to us about the playoff matchup, still appreciate your efforts tonight. Everybody in chat, thanks for gambaing alongside with us. Hopefully you won a ton of channel points that can be used for absolutely nothing useful. And we'll see you. I think the next game is tomorrow. I could be wrong. Maybe it's in 2 days, but it's soon. And I will be subbed out this week because I'll be gone. So if my team loses, it's not my fault. Go Mega. All right, see you guys.